I first met him in the early 80s in a Chinatown of urban Java. He didn't want his real name or address revealed, so we called him DJ for Dynamo Jack. He was only a healer, he said, but he did direct a powerful energy generated from his own body into his patients. Sometimes he used the needles, sometimes just his hands. He called the energy Qi, and it was so strong that he usually needed a grounder to hold his patients' feet. For years we followed him around Java on his healing rounds, pleading to be allowed to film him, but he always refused, saying his powers resulted from a type of meditation with an ancient tradition of secrecy. It was only when my brother Lorne was suffering from a serious eye infection that he finally allowed us to film him in 1987.
It was nothing like any acupuncture I'd ever had. I was getting really powerful electric shocks and couldn't control my movements at all.
Yin yang, positive and negative, you know. And my positive from here and my negative from here. And we meet together, this can get like electricity.
And is this because you're special? You have a special sort of
It's meditation every day.
It's meditation that does it?
Meditation every day. Like you can touch me, like this. It's nothing, okay? It's my burn. Just like this.
For our sound recordist, it was also a shocker. He then took our newspaper outside and showed us how Qi can also be used to set things on fire. When he heard we'd shown this footage in public, he was very upset and refused all our future efforts to contact him again. As the years passed, we sadly resigned ourselves to never seeing him again. My brother Lorne never did, for by 1997 he was already dead, when I again found myself with DJ, now treating me for an eye problem. But it wasn't this that brought me back. He had tracked me down out of the blue and invited me to tell me a story. He had just returned from 2 years on a deep meditational journey, alone in the heart of Borneo. Amongst his revelations, he had seen, he said, how history was moving on into great change, and the old wisdom was vanishing. So he'd called me back to film just enough of him to remind us that we all have undreamed of powers sleeping within us, and that there's nothing special about him except for his training in waking them. Grounding this patient, my cameraman Joe is having to use all his weight to keep contact. The Qi is pushing him away. He seems able to control the amplitude of this Qi, like a dimmer switch, and it causes uncontrollable responses in the patients and their grounders.
I can barely keep my hand on you. It wants to fly off. The electricity is so strong.
This mother unwittingly grounds her child. He won't sit still, so she's asked to hold him and grin and bear it. Sometimes, signs of this passing energy can be seen in the transmitter too. This Qi stuff is only the surface, he says, of the real adventure beneath, in the meditational technique. Projecting Qi from the palm of the hand can also be used to resist rifle pellets, he says. First, you learn to distinguish between yin and yang Qi in your body. Then how to pool it in your navel chakra. Then how to project it, he says. And it's the proportionate mixture between yin and yang which accounts for different effects, like pulling or pushing objects or igniting them. Then he gets really strange. He says that mastering yin qi is the key to the spirit world. There's a long tradition of Indonesian krisis being possessed by spirits. So people bring him their krisis to see if they're duds. Here, he says, he doesn't manipulate matter by projecting mixtures of yin and yang qi. He merely creates a field of yin energy in which, he says, if there's a spirit, it can manifest itself. So I invited a small group of scientists back from the United States with measuring equipment to test if DJ was for real. And if so, where might this energy belong on the electromagnetic spectrum? Catherine Cook, CEO of the Mind Science Foundation in Texas. Dr. Roger Nilsson, a Swedish medic and international racing sailor. Dr. Greg Simpson, a physicist from New York's Albert Einstein University, and Andreas Polak, one of DJ's Australian students. The visitors are confident they'll uncover him as a fraud in no time. Greg is the first guinea pig, and he's uncomfortable about showing that he can feel anything at all. Dr. Roger doesn't know what to expect. Out comes the metal detector, like the things they use in airports, to see if he has any concealed metal in his body. Then the voltmeter, to try and measure the qi. But how to get it to work? Where's the ground? What settings? DJ suggests that as his negative is his perineum, and his positive is his navel chakra, perhaps that's where the electrode should be attached. He doesn't stand on his dignity. He's eager to help, but still no readings. They're getting shocks off his arm, and now they're on the right settings, but the needle still isn't moving. DJ says it isn't electricity, it's qi.
It's 1, 2, up. I feel it in my whole body. I feel it at 3, 0.3. I feel it in my legs. Shit.
But suspecting there's some tricky setup on his premises they can't find, they insist we all go to a randomly chosen hotel room several miles away to see if he can light a light bulb with his fingers. It doesn't ground on the wall. So Greg holds and grounds one wire, while DJ pumps qi through the other. The bulbs are LEDs, light-emitting diodes, which ignite in different colors according to the intensity of current.
Yes.
On, off, on.
Brilliant.
Oh, you're blinking.
Things were going well. DJ was enjoying it too, until he invited us all out to lunch at his local, where he tried to push a chopstick through the table. He couldn't get it through the formica surface, so he came up through an inch of wood from underneath. Not only did he draw his own blood, but a chopstick splinter had caught Alison here between the eyes, drawing more. The incident was laughed off apologetically, but next morning he was a different man, drawn and upset. He said he'd been visited all night by his long-dead master, raging that he'd broken the strict taboos of his sect, never to show off in public and never to cause harm or draw blood. He felt deeply chastised. All further testing and filming must end. Never again would he submit to public scrutiny, nor accept any new students. He would sink from sight and continue his healing in obscurity, as he had done since before we met him in the early 80s and had always told us was right.
Welcome, ladies and gents, to, of course, your monthly peace report for Aries season 2023. This is the Peace Dealer. Okay. Um, as always, this peace report is an Infinity Club exclusive. And so, shout out to my Infinity Club members. You'll be able to access the replay. Shout out to my $1 billion Vibe Tribe members. This is also, sorry, I posted a daily card, an oracle card for today, and I'm going to be doing the tribe reports for the God Squad members. So, yes, I wanted to show this video because, in a nutshell, and Devin, thank you. I hope y'all Saturday is very great too. This the moon has just entered Gemini, as you can see. So once the moon goes 5 degrees Gemini, we will initiate the final part of this activation cycle of evolution. Um, in a nutshell, by the time Aries season is finished, you will have mastered the ability to harness your own chi. The previous evolution cycle and karmic cycle, 12 and 30 years, Jupiter and Saturn respectively, have in conjunction with Pluto 2020 actually built the stage since 2008 of awakening your body so that it can harness chi. Given that Pluto and Aquarius is now the y'all wild in the comments as usual. This is the, of course, period where now that our body and system has awakened to produce your unique chi, you're now awakening the mind, which enables you to charge with positive energy and harness your energy. Okay. Um, Power, cardinal signs, energy, fixed signs, and effect or magic, mutable signs. If you think about a fan, right? Or if you think about the dynamics of energy, you generate energy with power. Your computer or screen that you're using operates from a power core and a processor, the processor representing Mercury. The power core, you can say, represents Saturn, that connects to every system of the device. But the power core alone isn't what operates your device. The power core converts that power into energy. And when the energy is low, you have to charge the device. Many of you, um, like myself, have been caught up in figuring out the secret to controlling chi, when in reality, the fact that you are alive is proof that you are harnessing life force. So every time you go to sleep at night, it's because your body needs to charge its energy so that you can once again gain the vitality to really express your will to live. So power converts into energy. The energy is what activates the properties of the device to produce an effect through the programs, mutable energy, the experience of what's programmed. Because if we didn't have that, you'd have all the programming in a device, right? But you wouldn't experience what's programmed in the device. And this is how these states work in tandem in order to facilitate the experiences you have. So I'm going to say this again. Um, by the time we finish Aries season, and really by the time of the full moon, you will have enabled your ability to at will consciously channel chi. Chi representing the cultivation, harnessing, and conversion of the latent power within your body generated by your brain and mind, positive energy that focuses in order to attract the negative energy, because science has taught us that or science has discovered that positive and negative, electrons or protons and electrons attract, right? Negative, negative, they repel, positive, positive, they repel. So the whole enactment of focus creates the positive charge, and that's what attracts the negative, the yin and yang, the mental yang, and the physical your yin. So the reason why many of you may have found difficulty um realistically harnessing this is because you're looking for answers outside of yourself, and chi is an energy that exists within you. Just like you're conscious and sentient, it's conscious enough to take up your own makeup. And so the relationship you're getting ready to develop with this is set to separate you from mindless skeptics who will never harness the treasure within them simply because they don't even believe they're capable of that. These dark forces operating of doubt, misery, and denial within others who willfully open themselves up to be vessels of such will be used to project their own negativity at you, since you represent the disbelief of their ability. You represent, the part of them that actually believes them, and them thinking you're separate from them. And it's really up to you whether you want to give them that power. But it, thank you, heartfelt vibrations, is getting ready to separate you in the sense of what God is calling you out of the world in order to reclaim your birthright. In other words, we don't have to really use mystical terms as far as the chosen ones will survive into the new world, or only those who are awakened will make it. It's really as simple as who can harness their own chi. Chi is the manifestation of your personality and spiritual character. You could think of it as the key. Your key is the key in entrance into this new world, where if you don't have basic mastery of ki, you're not even going to be able to make it through the nature that tests your physicality. And just like the dinosaurs, even though they got taken out by a meteor, you will be extinct in coming into the evolution of humankind, the awakened man, the God. Okay, so welcome to the new age of Aquarius, which we don't really have to have a start date for, but welcome to this Aries season that will really transit us through the next 2 years of revolution in order to step into the new age. We are, of course, in the arc, the Saturn and Pisces arc in the water sign that brings the beginning of the end of the world and the changing of everything. And the construction of this arc is with your chi. So the building of this arc is building your chi and chakra control. You, by willfully, Noah had to take time out to actually build his willpower, to actually build his chi, so that he could be the vessel through which he can make it into a new world, since the old world was getting flooded. Okay, evil ass Nephilim, amongst other things. If you have seen Attack on Titan, yes, it is true. There are sealed Nephilim and fallen angels in the mountains. And if you look at the pit of, the core of the earth, there are damned souls that are there waiting for judgment, where every dead soul will be resurrected and the judgment process will happen. Those of you who are angelic, angel souls, Gemini moons, Gemini suns, or celestials, aqua libras, or have connects to there, you have already been downloading instructions towards your place in this judgment, where even the angels themselves will be judged. So I don't want to necessarily tie this too much to the biblical account, because that's a bit misleading, although that's, you can say that's a rendition of it. But it's important because I'm going to bring this back to the beginning. You are in the process of mastering your ability to harness chi. By Virgo season, you will have taken this ability to harness chi, and you will have mastered techniques that enable you to take the energy you're able to channel and convert it into a technique similar to the whole notion of your chi energy being like electricity and the technique being the apparatus that you create that channels the electricity for an effect. All right, this technique will be unique to you. Libra season is going to be the presentation of this technique in the context of literal war, to where those who have mastered chi are going to be in a position to help those still awakening. And, those who don't are going to get massacred. Like, it is what it is, but not in the sense where you would think everyone just dies all at once. I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to see for yourself. Maybe you might see a different perception of this and you can challenge mine. But, I'm just going to let you know, certain people are being sued for several million, if not $1 billion, for lying about producing fake COVID results, test results. Basically what y'all have been saying. And Bree gets it. This is magic wars. This isn't a facet of divine RPG. Magicians are masters of harnessing chi. And the whole element of this, just like all these television shows and animes, chi is imperceptible to the human eye. It's invisible. And so for people who are not initiated, you're going to see increasing cases of mental illness, people committing suicide, people saying that they're apparitions and ghosts. And it's not so much that, it's that an increasing amount of the population of the earth relative to early times where it could have been like 1 in a few million people. Now we're looking at 1 to 10,000 and 100,000 people through near-death experiences, extreme trauma, or awakening, moments. They're able to harness chi. And not everyone who can harness chi will harness it in the light side. Some people are tapping into the dark side of the force. Some people are using it for evil. Some people, it's just a manifestation of their evil intent. So you want to protect yourself for these magic wars. And I want to set the intention for this peace report to let you know the process of how you'll be activating this and how to maximize this. Case in point is with Pluto and Aqua, everyone's going to be activating this, but not everyone is going to willfully do the work to integrate this. Everyone is going to experience exponentially increased amounts of energy. You're even going to see a lot of bullshit in the news trying to explain what's happening in an effort to keep this dynamic as secret as possible. Because if you think to government agencies, this level of power is like giving people the ability to, be walking nukes. Okay. So it's very important. Sagittarians like Brie DiMichele or like Brie, you know what I'm saying, are going to be scouting you out and teaching you how to manipulate chi. Like all the aquas and sages are like, finally, this is my time. So, really keep this in mind, whether you're that or not. The thing is, this is the coolest thing about this, especially for those of you who have pretty much been practicing this. The issue is that you don't not know. It's not that you don't know how to do this. It's that you're learning how to align with it, because the way everyone produces this is unique to you. Some of you are chi. Some of you have soul energy. So you don't have to necessarily create what's already there. Some of you're already magical beings. So in fact, I'm willing to bet that most of you're like a magical being alien who's in the world of humanity, and you're trying to learn how to use hand signs, or you're trying to learn how to harness it, but you're ascended beyond that. So like you're literally stunting yourself trying to learn something beneath you, to where you don't have to use hand signs. You can just make it because you're made of magic. Others of you have to generate chi, not because you're lesser than magical beings who may be in a higher position than you, but because that's just the function, and you may be able to do it stronger than people who don't have to. Everyone is different. So this is where personally it's going to activate the identity of your own spirit. If you watch Bleach, this is like learning who your Zanpakuto is. So once we step into Taurus season is going to take this activation of power, and it's going to begin to convert it into energy. So with the moon in Gemini right now, you're going in advance to already understand the truth of what this power is, your true power. And by the time we're in Gemini season, you will be actively instilling magical abilities or abilities with your energy. The coolest thing about this is going to feel as natural as breathing to you, because through the experiences you've gone through the past 18 years, you have already mastered how to manipulate chi. You just weren't conscious of it. Unless some of you are like super mega advanced, I can't speak for all of you. Some of you are OGs, but because there's a new method and way of this higher quality and energy, even those who are OGs had to kind of, it's kind of like either you're new to programming and like you're learning programming languages for the first time, or you're an OG at programming. Some of you are born knowing how to program, but there's a new programming language. So you're having to learn how to program this new programming language, where some people are just learning how to program newly with this new programming language. I think that was an amazing analogy. So, relative to this ability to weave energies, okay, the quality of your energy is unique. Some people have fire energy, or they're more water dominant energy. Some people are avatars, they can do all the energies. And this is where, or some people progressively learn to become avatars. If you're not born one, you can become one. You could just gain mastery over an element if it's in your affinity. So it's very important. Samantha asked, do you know why I've been called not to manifest anymore and just flow and trust what God has for me? Personally, that's impossible. You manifest every single moment of your life. So I feel like the trusting what God has for you is more so of a dogmatic, deceptive, religious angle to take your power away. I think what you're trying to say is you don't need to use manifestation techniques, because techniques don't manifest, you manifest. I think that's the translation of what you're trying to say, because every single moment of your life, you are manifesting. The thoughts you think, the feelings you have, you're never not manifesting. So what you're saying is you're done, you're being told not to try and force it by using affirmations repeatedly. You just basically recognize you're the operant power and God of your reality, and you give it up to God to co-create with. Whether you want to do that or not, anyone who gets a call like that, you're leveling up to the next level to where you are already embodying and aligned with it. So this is putting you in a position to step through. I'm going to once again kind of clarify, we are as gods, right? There is only one true God. I'm not necessarily in the belief that we are that God, because God is transcendent and immanent. God is not the universe. This is just one universe of like an infinite number of universes. Once you kind of say God is, that's why God says, I am that I am. Once you say God is, you're putting God in a box. God is beyond God, goddess, they're beyond everything. But we are a God, as children of God, as creations of God, we are as God, right? So be careful, because that Luciferian deception will put you in a position to begin to do what thou wilt and kind of put your will above God's will. It's commonly misconcepted that God is energy. God is not energy. Energy is a creation of God, right? God transcends energy. Like anything that you can say is, God transcends that. You can't really label what God is, because now you're putting it under your understanding. So that's my personal belief. If you believe you're God, like when you say I am, you step into that God state, right? You are a universe unto yourself. There is a world within you, right? But then you have that one force in mind that, creates everything. If you've had a beginning, if you were born, you can't really say you're God, because God is eternal. But you can say you are a God, right? You can say you are a creator. You don't have to believe that. You have your beliefs. This is my personal belief. But once again, personally, it puts you in a position to realize the nature of how powerful you truly are. And in this acknowledgement of this infinite potential of power, it enables this activation with yourself that will open the road towards empowerment through your chi. Okay. And so all you have to do is just talk to yourself nice. All you have to do is legitimately just will this. Get more into willing versus forcing, and will focuses the chi within you to direct it, because wherever your focus is, energy goes. Wherever your focus goes, energy goes. So the coolest thing about this is, if you remember when John Chang was trying to light the light bulb, he needed a ground, right? He needed a grounding. The grounding is represented by the earth in your chart, where you have this main ground and then you have your grounding. And so that, in order to understand electronics, it's very important to facilitate the need for grounding. And if you want homework, just look at any electrical appliance and see what it's plugged into. Look at a power plant and see what it has to be grounded to, because without grounding, the electricity does not have the ability to harness itself. And it's just invisible current that just flows. The invisible current is representative of your soul. The body is representative of the resistors in a circuit and the actual circuit board, and the voltage that is produced by this is your spirit. It's your chi. I just broke down Ohm's law, V equals IR. So with that being said, the ohms relative to the chakra centers, which serve as resistors that the current runs through, enables you to project this through your hands and your feet. But how is going to be more of a focus during Virgo season. What we're going to focus on is what? So I'm going to bring us back to what we just said in the beginning. By the time we finish Aries season, you will at will be able to activate the process to harness chi, where just like he turned it on and off and off and on, you can put it on, put it off, put it on. Okay. The coolest thing too here is, now that we're in the moon in Gemini, this is where you're going to actually begin to get an intellectual understanding of what the fuck is happening. Because the new moon in Aries and the moon in Taurus is in a physical subatomic sense that's auto nervous to you. And so where Taurus moon brought reality to this, your ability to process this is not really kicking in until now, and not fully until Gemini season after Taurus. But now with the moon in Gemini, you'll be able to feel intellectual insight into what's happening, and you'll moving forward actually perceive this activation. So the activation of this is not necessarily going to happen at the end of the transit. It's actually starting now during the final part of the activation of this new moon. All right. That being said, this is the mega evolution revolution that will very powerfully influence the direction, cardinal direction that you move towards relative to the development of your character. In alignment with destiny, that in August during Leo season, the North Node will put in Aries. So Aries season is also preparing you for the North Node in Aries. North Node in Gemini changed your mind. North Node in Taurus strengthened your thoughts. And now this is the train track with Aries, that now that you're manifesting this promised land, what direction are you destined to move into? And this Aries evolution is going to evolve you to the next state towards a lot of how this personally expresses itself throughout everyone. Okay. So other than that, I'm really grateful for this question, because the whole purpose of Saturn and Pisces is to have you question your entire life and to demystify illusions. Saturn is, of course, karma, and it's also responsibility, and it's also testing, and Pisces is belief. So every belief you've had since 30 years ago is being tested to make sure if it's actually even realistic or true to you, to where you're going to have to confront it, and you have to actually live by these beliefs, because it's easy to have beliefs we don't live by. And so you're being questioned, you're questioning your life, because you're actually wondering if the beliefs you operate are yours or they were given to you. Okay. Children born after 2008 were born with the awakened body. This is why they're like so genius, especially children who are born with Pluto in Aquarius. Children born with Pluto and Aquarius are supernatural alien wizards who are going to be born with advanced knowledge that will terrify you. So be careful if you're giving birth to children now, because they're going to have that rebellious phase where if you don't have your superpowers mastered, they're going to be like Pokemon that you don't have enough badges. They will not respect you. Be like, you can't even float, mom or dad. And you don't want these little kids talking back to you because they actually know what they're saying. And it just hits different when your child talks back to you and they're right, because they channeled the insight. So you literally have to get spiritually trained for these kids. And women already kind of have a cheat code because giving birth to a child is a superhuman act. So having children awakens women's superpowers. But men, you have to make sure you are more than equipped, which, will make you take, so you're like, Pluto Aquarius is even more so not the time to just like have casual sex, because now random combustion can happen because people's energy systems are a lot much more defined and awakened. If you don't know the quality of who you're having sex with, your energy centers could just like mix and you will combust. Both of you will combust. Like I'm using an extreme example of like an explosion happening because of chemical reaction that, not every chemical mixes together. And, hopefully you kind of laugh at that. So you think it's extreme. That's how extreme it is. Maybe like by 29-degree Pluto Aqua, but this is the beginning of that, where, small symptoms may occur where you get in a near fatal car accident because you had sex with someone you're not supposed to be having sex with. Like energy dynamics, Pluto in Capricorn was awakening power. Pluto in Aquarius is now awakening energy, the final facet of energy. And this is what's going to give you this knowledge through here. So the capacity with which you activate this has everything to do with tapping into your latent power. Relative to 2010, where Neptune was still coming out of Aquarius and Pluto was just starting in Capricorn, now Jupiter is back in Aries, sextiling Pluto in Aquarius. And this is what's going to draw on this awakening of energy for you to harness in a direct, powerful way. So the latent power that you've had within you is fully evolving. And this is what's going to, in light of the awakening and evolution of your consciousness, enable you to harness this as easy as breathing. See, a lot of you have still not realized that you are like incredible beyond your belief. Like you're so much more powerful than you could believe. And that's why I played this video in the beginning, because everyone has the ability to do this. You just have to find this power. Aries season, ladies and gentlemen, is not only when you find this power, you realize it was you all along, and you now understand the name of it. In fact, that's happening now. The understanding of what to call Moon in Gemini, the power, Aries. So that every time you call on this power, it's focusing your state and you're harnessing it. The rest of Aries season after Moon in Gemini is beginning the process of integrating the mastery of this. By the time we're in, we'll break that down. Okay, so in a nutshell, this mega revolution is in alignment with Pluto and Aquarius, which brought about perspective revolutions from American, French, Haitian, Russian. This is putting you in a position to be amongst the evolution of humanity into godhood that will now have you play a very important role in this revolution of mankind. In other words, not only will you understand your chi, right? Whereas Taurus season is the manifestation of this chi through your body system, to where after you've activated the power and now we're finished with Aries season, now Taurus season is you downloading this chi to manifest effects of your body after now you know how to activate this and run it through your body. Okay, this is Taurus season is going to be the process of strengthening the chi you've activated. And if after Aries season, you're able to harness chi at 50-point capability, you're now strengthening the physical strength through your body so that by the end of Taurus season, you can now harness chi at 5,000 powers, right? So we're activating the power Aries. We're strengthening how strong you can harness this power. And now we'll have enough strength for you to develop your magic points. Whenever you play a video game, in order to, you can use physical attacks, but in an RPG, if you want to use special attacks, if you want to use magic attacks, you have to expend magic points, right? So in Gemini season, if you don't have enough magic points, you'll only be able to practice like a spell a day, because you do that spell and then it exhumes all your magic points. But Taurus season is going to take your magic points from 50 and and the coolest thing is it's based on the work you put in. It's literally just like working out. And then at the end of Taurus season, you have expended your magic points to 500. Now Gemini season, you have 500 magic points to work with versus 50, right? So with that being said, Pluto Aquarius in alignment with Uranus and Taurus is now also bringing the manufacturing of technology that enables you to simulate superpowers. So in this revolution, there is a polarity of older wisdom, old money, and weapons and technology versus the other end extreme of supernatural abilities and connection with gods, to the medium point of people who use augmented technology and cyborgs, and then also supernatural ability. And this is the range. Okay, it's not necessarily this versus this side. It's a little bit of everything. Okay, it's not a revolution where it's people who have superpowers versus people who don't have superpowers. You're going to have people who follow an old line of thinking, who recruit people with superpowers and technology. And then you're going to have people with a new world way of thinking who have superpowers, who recruit some of the old people who aren't as powerful, but still have weapons and money, right? So this is where, and this is the new age of Aquarius. This is going to elevate humanity into making the new normal supernatural. It's just your ability to harness ki is not a superpower. It's what enables you to do basic shit. It's just you've been lied to. And so the whole purpose of this revolution is through your own self as a source connected to God or to the universe, expose what was hidden the whole time by you being the revolution. Okay. You might even see facets of this be outlawed. So there's technology being created to produce and simulate effects of this without you having to do the work of producing this, which is actually a Boruto theme, where in Boruto, you had technology to where you can do jutsu. And Naruto didn't really like that because in his generation, they had to do the work. And you're going to see this dynamic here too. Some of you who've done the work, you know how to actually read charts, you know how to actually do your intuition versus people who just downloaded an app. And now this AI can read your mind. This AI can actually use probability generation to be just as close as intuition. You know what I'm saying? And now these people can operate and do what you did. And you're going to feel like, well, shit, I actually learned how to read transits. I didn't have an app tell me how to do it. I actually learned how to generate tree. I didn't have an app tell me how to do it. You have some people who use the technology and use the cheat. All of this is rapidly happening. By the time Uranus is in Gemini 2027, this shit's just being pushed out. Boom, 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 boom. Technology has been surpassed a lot. And like the Leo King said, the level of technology lets you know the level of spirituality that we have in humanity. But we might see the theory of, there is that theory of the 0 point where advanced civilizations who've mastered chi have always existed, but nature reset it, whether through a switching of the poles, nuclear war, to where we come back to a Stone Age, view. If you subscribe to that belief, I'm a little bit open-minded. I feel like the truth lies in between what we don't know that we don't know, and that's everything that's going to be revealed. Pluto Aqua and Pluto Pisces. Okay, so I love this Banshee. My superpower is prayer. Let's not forget the OG superpowers, the 7 chastities or the 7 virtues: patience, temperance. I only know patience and temperance. Patience, temperance, chastity, amongst others, right? And this is what will enable you to really look past the, stereotypical thinking of abilities. But Taurus season is going to help you manifest the quality of your body that is naturally supernatural. So, for example, clairsentience, clairvoyance, it's not a superpower. It is your body's natural state. Clairgustience, the clairs, this is what is reawakening, because modern education and the school system have deliberate, like this was all deliberately done. I'm not going to say it was a group of people. It was enough people who lied to the rest of the people who lied to you. They didn't know they were being lied to. You have to understand, most of these people, their research contradicted what they were teaching. And these people have been silenced throughout the ages. You have a lot of motherfuckers who they're so genius, they realize, wait, what I'm teaching my students is a lie in these research institutions, and they're silenced, they're killed. They're not allowed to reveal. The CIA, FBI tracks these people down. They're not allowed to reveal this to the public. Well, we're now in an age where they're not able to censor everybody anymore. And this shit is coming out. And we're out of the period where we had to filter through what's bullshit and what's real, because now this is opening up your ability to activate this. So, for example, if somebody says that they're a prophet of God, or someone says that they're this or that, they should be able to manifest and show this to you on the spot. And even that's still not enough, because people can lie to you with powers. So, but the truth will be in the quality of your energy. Okay. So, that being said, just like there was revolution in many countries throughout the world the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, in that case, spreading ideals of democracy, there's a new level of freedom that is being pushed here, which is the autonomy that comes from operating your own body as a source, because there is a world within you. There is a God within every human being. This world within enables you to harness energy. This energy enables you to produce unique effects, your Kirk, relative to your personality. So some of you with a very spicy, fiery personality probably have fire abilities. Others with you with a very electric, airy type of personality probably have lightning abilities. You know what I'm saying? There's the basic that we all have, and then there's the specializations that people step into. So like I was just saying, not only will you know what to really harness, you'll know what to call us. And now this ties into relative to the revolution of those of you, like some of you don't even realize, some of you in this season alone are about to go from I'm just a casual observer minding my business, walking my own path, to I'm the leader of a revolutionary unit that's in Boston right now and taking over the city. And I have several intelligence agencies targeting my head. Like, boom, just like that. All with Pluto and Aquarius, all the people who you are meant to know just converge right around you, and vice versa. And a switch of this quality can drive one mad, but this is where you recognizing why you're here and questioning your beliefs will align you towards this. And shout out to those of you sending me your charts, Venmo and PayPal. I am going to be reading charts. So for those of you who want an Aries season transit interpretation, just like you see in the description box below, $40 minimum, I got you. Okay. I got you. So I got, so shout out to those of you who've sent that so far. This is over the next 2 years, the new generals of the new world, most of them, which will probably be born after 95, but it's not limited to that, are going to come of age and step up. So that by the time we step into 2025, all the movements and revolutions that are ready to spark will move forward and the Great War will begin. Even America is preparing for war 2025. Russia's gathering their forces. America anticipates war with China. These people are already having bases in Mexico. There's a Chinatown in every city. I'm not saying this so you discriminate against Chinese people, because no one is the bad person in this war. America's not the good guy. Russia's not the good guy. China's not the good guy. There's really only losers in war. So just something to keep in mind. You're getting ready to expose the true motives behind these political leaders who send their own children to slaughter. Okay. It's usually money motivated. Anyway, what puts you in this awareness of gnosis has already happened already. And I'm going to work to break down this cycle. But the one thing you want to be the most excited about is everything that you personally have been working towards to build is coming into one of the most major evolutions out. And Elisha, you and your Pisces mind, you have now, I got chills. You have uncovered something that's very important. Everything I spoke on was on a more human level. Celestial aliens are using these conflicts to lure out the superpowered humans. With their technology, they're able to capture data in a much increased amount of time than not. You can consider this bullshit if you don't believe it. I just channeled this a while ago. So some of you are being called to keep your ability secret until it's time to reveal it. Because what's going to happen is there are going to be certain skirmishes and conflicts that will draw these people out. And the aliens are going to be taking notes so that when they invade, they're going to come with celestial counterparts that will isolate your weaknesses because they've had time to analyze your data at an alien quality level, at an extra dimensional. And if you think that's fucking stupid, I don't blame you. Honestly, I have nothing to prove this. This is just a feeling I had. I don't think it's as simple as that, but it's a concept you want to keep in mind. Because even John Chang, whose rules were don't show this in public and don't draw blood. If you watch Bruce Almighty, what was the only rule that God told Bruce? Don't tell anyone you're God, and don't force people's free will, right? I feel like some people are meant to show their abilities to inspire others, and I feel like some people are meant to keep it secret. You'll know. Because once you activate this chi, you are going to be understanding the personality of it, okay? So with that being said, some of you, your energy is going to call you to live off the grid. And now you're going to have a working energy, body, and system with which you will not need sleep, especially if you're an angel. You're awakening. So angels don't need sleep or food, but you'll need increase. You won't necessarily need as much sleep. You'll be able to fast longer. You'll be able to operate off of so much less and use your own energy to create your world. Something that you're doing now, but you're evolving the capacity with which you can do this. So this evolution cycle is going from setting intentions and having them manifest to directly being able to control. And it's not about control, but directly being able to really direct more so how you do this and the quality and level of energy that enhances more your ability to do it. Okay, especially some of you don't feel sleepy. Doesn't mean you'll never feel sleepy again, but these minute changes are getting ready to become so much more noticeable. And that's very important relative to the depths of the unconscious. What will feel like it's just activating out of nowhere has been in the works your entire life. Just like certain people who are going to pop up in your life out of nowhere have been thinking about you for a while. You know what I'm saying? So it's something to keep in mind, because as you shine the light of your spirit, the threat of the dark will be darker in this period of darkness post-May, where we're not going to have any light energy. So this is the transit. This isn't the transit of all transits. We could just say that about life at this point. But I'm going to show how you've already been harnessing chi, and you're evolving the quality with which you do this. So this isn't about activating and awakening it. You're activating this next level right now. For those of you who would like to challenge yourself, you have 2 years until Saturn is in Aries to fly. You're going to be able to utilize your chi to fly. It requires mental strength. It's not supposed to be easy. So challenge yourself to fly above your body height for at least 5 minutes. This is going to separate. If you want a litmus test, and I'm not preaching division here, but if you've heard the theories about the world splitting into 5D and 3D, right? I don't like to use the terms 5D and 3D, but if you want to know in a nutshell who's going to go to 5D and who's going to go to 3D, just ask them this question. Do you believe you can fly? Seriously, too, just a yes or no. Like, it's not to judge people who don't believe it. This is a choice. Everything in life is a choice. So, like, do you believe you can fly? Realistically, if you don't believe you can fly, don't beat yourself up for it. You just don't believe you can fly. You need physical evidence. Cool. Faith is the evidence of things not seen. Faith, unfortunately, will not enable you to just float if you jump off a 30-story window. You need the skill. Flying is a skill. But if you don't believe you can develop that skill, how will you ever develop that skill? No one wakes up benching 400 pounds. They had to start at 10. They had to start it, then go build up to 50. Yep. He believes he can fly. He thinks about it every night and day. Okay. So if you can believe you can fly, that says a whole lot about you as a person. You don't need a certain element of physical proof to believe it's possible. You're a pioneer. You're an innovator. Spirit loves pioneers. Spirit loves innovators because those people are not so bogged by their ego and pride that they can open their mind to something beyond their understanding. These are the people who push humanity forward. If you truly believe that you can harness your energy, see, I can believe it because my power is already awakening. I'm already doing things more so like, and I want you to comment an exclamation mark if you've noticed this too, especially since Aries season, where there's a bit more of a hit miss ratio. So like what I'm doing is I'm using a random generator app to where the card that I want to pull comes through. And if I'm able to like think of the world and pull the world and then think of the sun and pull the sun and then also manifest, it's not just limited to that exercise, but I'm noticing my ability to hit is a lot more on. Whereas before it was like hit, miss, 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 hit, miss, miss, hit, miss, miss, miss. Now it's like hit, 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 miss, miss, hit, 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 miss, 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 hit, 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 hit. If you're commenting an exclamation mark, you're there. Some of you, I'm using that as an example, but for some of you, you realize your manifestations are a lot more fluid. This is the subconscious nature of your power. If you're there, you're already ready to use it consciously. Okay. All right. So for those of you who, even if you didn't comment an exclamation mark, this is definitely going to push you to a degree to realistically open up the nature of this activation. Another facet of this Aries season is the evolution of your character and who you are, which will prepare to push some of you in a new direction so that you can anchor this during the eclipse, the final eclipse we have in Taurus. Shout out to Aquarian Essence. Okay. This is the destined manifestation of this nature of your chi. Okay. The trick here is in recognizing that you're so much colder than you even know. Like you're just aligning with what you've been doing. And this is, you're literally going to teach yourself how to do it through you. This is what's happening through you, coming from you. Okay. And with that being said, the theme for this Aries season is Mega Evolution Revolution. This is what's going to activate the spark. So that, in other words, I want you to now comment the number 1 if you have been feeling the push for revolution. And I'm purposely keeping this vague right now because some of you don't even fucking know what that even looks like. Comment in number 1 if you know you're ready for revolution, but you're not entirely sure what that looks like. You know, and this is vague because who doesn't want this, right? But you know you're ready to be done with the current system of affairs, but it's like, what direction do I even go into? How do I even get started? Okay. If you type number 1, welcome to Aries season, this is where you get started. This is literally going to activate your power and push you into the direction towards how you personally create the revolution. Okay. So that by Libra and Aquarius season, the direction you've gone in will converge with the direction other people you are meant to meet. And now you bridge partnership in Libra after spending 6 months integrating your power and technique. Let's get it. I'm preaching now. So there's no right or wrong way to do this. You're either more aligned or less aligned. The only thing that's wrong is to just doubt yourself the whole way and just be less aligned, which is a contradiction of what I just said, but I'm just saying things at this point. But, and I love it. As an Aquarius, I always feel ready for a revolution. So with that being said, I just want to make sure that some of you don't just take this to mean this figuratively. I'm being very literal here. Okay, when I say flying, I'm being very literal here. When I say you're able to harness chi, that's as easy as breathing to you. This is not a superpower. It's not even a superpower to fly. That's another basic ability that you can learn by 7. But that's if you're taught it early enough, right? This is so many of you, what you're going to be able to guide your children. It's just your children understand this new programming language. So they're going to teach you shit. You teach them the basics. They'll teach you how they innovate the basics. Okay. And this is where now the plot begins. So basically, when you start a new show or movie or book, you introduce the characters, Aries. Through their characterization, you give insight into their values and the nature of their character, Taurus. And then once we step into Gemini, that's when the story begins. That's when we start to introduce the plot through bringing in the conflict. What's actually happening by Cancer, the first quarter square. Okay. So with that being said, right? Know that the dark force's only weapon against you is discouragement through doubt. If I can't stop you from believing you can fly, I can peer pressure you to believe that you're a loser or you're weird for even believing you can fly. And I mean, the easy counter to that is to ask them to prove it. No one who can tell you you can't fly will not be able to prove to you they can't fly without using inconclusive research that's not sourced by God. These idiots probably don't even believe in God. So like, you know what I mean? Or the whole concept of a creator and energy and chi, it's normally materialist reductionism bullshit that makes you believe you're just a physical vessel with no spirit or soul that will perpetuate that nonsense. And you can really just laugh at it. You don't have to take any of this shit seriously. And no one who knows their moon sign can tell you anything. I swear to God, like, how would you feel if somebody was trying to criticize your writing, but they don't even know how to read or write? You wouldn't take them serious. Okay. So this is going to prepare the activation of character, Aries season, Taurus and Gemini, before we integrate this character in preparation to present towards society from Cancer throughout Sag, climaxing in Libra. All right. That being said, I want to show you this transit so that we can go down the activation of this. So the first part of this activation is, of course, the new moon, the moon in Taurus, and the moon in Gemini. Okay. Before we reach the 90-degree angle of the moon in Cancer on Mars, to begin this integration in a potent, powerful way, which will really kick things in gear and have you fuel your car, this is going to have you harness this energy. Okay. And AI can most definitely be a distraction from supernatural abilities. If you, in believing AI, use it as a substitution for supernatural abilities, it's a distraction. If you use AI to supplement your supernatural abilities, then you're a genius. So integration is key, but to the extent with which you're using technology because you don't believe you have abilities, no one is saying you have to use it to replace it, but you're playing yourself. Okay. Right now, the sun is King Kunk's the South Node. So this is transforming the past life understanding of where your power is being sourced from, in an effort to manifest this very physically onto your physical body. So we have Mercury, we have Chiron, we have Jupiter, and in preparation for the integration of this power, we're reaching the conjunction that's going to literally kick all of this off. All right. So the new moon in Aries was the principal activation of this power. This is what actually turned the screen on, right? This is what actually activated. It was the power push button, right? Then, you see the programming screen come on. We can say that was the data being compiled. We can even equate that to the moon in Taurus. The moon in Taurus now manifested the quality of this power and made it real. And this initial part of this activation was at a spiritual and physical level. Now we're getting ready to understand it mentally and emotionally, moon in Gemini and Cancer. And relative to this, just to break this down, we have the activation cycle, which is the new moon in Aries that happened at 1 degree. So we started this year off gangster. We're getting the full scope of the sign. We have the activation, which is the conjunction to the first quarter square, Aries, Taurus, Gemini. This is the science of activating power. And then we're going to have the integration from Moon in Cancer, Leo, and Virgo, integrating the individuality socially from the first social sign into Libra. Then we have the full moon, which is the harvest cycle from Libra, Scorpio, and Sag. This is the breakthrough of superpowers, where after you have integrated and mastered it, you're now breaking through the utilage of this superpower by now ascending into higher heights of what you can do versus before you harness this. And then we have the completion of this cycle of review with Cap, Aqua, and Pisces, where we come into the total completion of the high score of how powerful we can harness this, the rewards, who belongs with us using this, and then the final change of beliefs now that you're someone who can harness this versus someone who didn't when we started. That will lead us into the balsamic phase in the Aries, and then boom, Taurus season, the beginning of actively manifesting the energy system to raise the strength and how much more magical energy you can harness. So that theoretically, because everyone's different, when you harness energy, because you're generating more energy than you use, it could feel like running a mile. And if you don't balance it, you'll lose energy because you converted it. And this is where rest extends it. And so Taurus season may bring practices of using as most energy as you can, gaining rest, and then of course creating more, how much strength, how stronger your body can harness using it, right? So Aries season is just activating the power. Taurus season is going to go into how strong you can strengthen your ability to use this without getting tired, so that you can now start to practice what abilities you can produce with the amount of energy you have. This is so fucking dope, let me be honest. Okay. It definitely now, relative to this cycle, kicks off now, because now the Gemini facet of this activation brings intellectual understanding into what you're actually doing. And this is what's going to also help you understand what your power is called. All right. So let us begin. The moon in Gemini instantly squares Saturn in Pisces. This is going to instantly have you question your reality, because in understanding what's true about your power, you're instantly going to have to release old beliefs that no longer align with these new understanding of truth that makes up your conscious understanding. So basically, before this, you may have believed that you're not able to outrun a car. Now you've activated your power. And so in harnessing your chi, you're able to enhance your physical body's ability to move fast. Now this is having you reevaluate your beliefs. Wait, maybe I am able to move faster than vehicles. This is the beginning of change, the 90-degree square to this. And this is where, with the delusion of the 12th, doubt can have you believe that you're fucking delusional. You're crazy. You believe in chi and all this energy bullshit. But without Virgo, without any analysis to definitively prove this wrong, you're just lying to yourself. You want to actually just understand what's being revealed to you, because this force of doubt every step of the way isn't even your doubt. It's the collective doubt trying to not just hate on you, like deter you so that you don't develop this. It's literally a reverse psychological way to prepare them for magic wars, so that while you don't believe in yourself, they're training, and then they're going to fight someone who doesn't believe in themselves versus someone who's believing themselves. Okay. Other than that, someone asked, do you feel like you're losing your powers because you're meant to go even more ham? You can't lose your powers. That is and I'm enjoying these questions because it's really bringing up a lot of misconceptions that a lot of people have. You can't lose your powers. You're born with them. You're going to die with them. You're going to transition to the next life with them. The most you can do is just keep them dormant. So the very important thing that Saturn and Pisces is going to force you to accept is you can't look for answers outside of yourself. You know, as personally you might even look at me as an authority figure, the answer you're seeking exists within you where the kingdom of heaven is. And so you're going to be put in positions where you have to believe in yourself or you have to believe in whatever mainstream bullshit is being shoved down your throat. You've been prepared for this through the beta test. So here we go. And with this moon in Gemini aspect, right? The initial breakthrough through this test will now facilitate an immediate understanding of what you're charging. What's going to bring a very, yeah, absolutely. That's all birth charts do. So the way most people read astrology is actually nerfed because they're reading astrology relative to the definitions and the limited vernacular enchantment that's given. The real way to read astrology is to actually isolate what your superpowers are. But because you are in a society that doesn't believe in superpowers, they read it in a normal way that takes away from the power of astrology. All right. Because these are not superpowers. These are what you call superpower. Like that's how bamboozled and tricked you've been. What you call superpowers are actually your normal abilities. What's really superpowers is the ability to like do anything outside of this time and space, to traverse universes. But basic shit like being able to like do clairvoyance, produce fire. You just saw John Chang produce fire on that newspaper. That's not a superpower. That's a basic ability. But they have lied to you and put in science fiction and fantasy, oh, this is something that we can barely bear. It's a classic brainwash. And it was very well done because supernatural evil aliens did it. And I want to say supernatural evil aliens because it just sounds so fucking stupid. But the truth is stranger than fiction. So that's something Saturn and Pisces is going to really remind you. Neptune, Saturn, and Pisces is going to remind you that outright. But what I want to kind of harp here, okay, right, is Aries season in these cycles: activation, integration, breakthrough, and completion, right? The actual activation of your superpower and your ability to convert into energy happens during the activation cycle: Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. The integration cycle next week from Cancer to Virgo is you actively learning to master how to harness the energy you've activated. So the difference between activation and integration, okay, is, and before I say that, when they say they, well, let's put this in context. Who are they that are producing these experts, scientists, and whatnot? I'm not going to say they is the government, but for now we can say they is a figurative term for anything outside of yourself that is against your conscious evolution. In context of what I'm talking about, who are the ones producing these scientists that tell you this is bullshit? Who are producing the scholastic books that tell you this fake science? It's not from an imaginary source. It's backed by an institution. That'll let you know who they is. Okay. And in a sense, they is us, because who lets these people do this? Who gives their power away to these government structures and organizations to just finesse us? And this is where, in you taking responsibility for that, you separate yourselves from them. Okay. So with that being said, the activation of this superpower is like downloading an app. Okay. Right? Let's say you download a workout app. You're downloading an app that measures how many calories you lose by walking, right? The walking app. The first part of it is activating the app. You have to customize the app to be like, well, who are we using this app for? Oh, this is Himothy, that nigga son. Yes. And yes, I'm him. I'm him. Him is using the app. And then you're customizing the quality of how you want to use the app. What kind of music do you want to play when you're using this app? Gangster rap. Yep, the gangster shit. No R&B. No country. Yeah, more gangster rap. Okay. And now you're customizing the experience you want while you use the app, right? Then the integration of this app is you actually practicing how to use it. You're integrating the app. The app doesn't just work on itself, right? You have to use the app here. Practice makes perfect. You have to use the app here. And in integrating the app, you realize, ooh, when I use this app during this time, I don't have maximum efficiency. When I use the app like this, walking down these hills, I gain max efficiency. This is the integration. So that by the time we're in Moon and Virgo, you have mastered how to use the app. Now it's like, okay, I'm gonna incorporate this app in this part of my routine. Do you see the difference between activation and integration? The app is your superpower. So you're activating through your own thoughts the programming of this energy. Your subconscious is taking notes. All right. And now once we step into the integration, which I'll give you the dates and literally detail, this is where you're learning how to use the activation of this power in your day-to-day routine. How do I use my energy to shut this person the fuck off? How do I use my energy to manifest increased energy? How do I use my energy in this situation? How do I integrate my life force in this routine? And so by the time we're at the full moon harvesting it, now you can use the app with other people. Now you know how to present and produce this. Now you know how to present and produce your power with other people. And the full moon in Libra will help you harvest this with partnerships that connect with your power. Okay. So given that mutable signs are happenings, they're experiences where we activate the power, strengthen it, and it produces the effect. This moon in Gemini is helping you understand the effect being produced by the moon in Taurus that manifested the value of the activation of this power. And now you're understanding the true magic of this power. This is kind of like in the point of a show where someone has been using their ability, but now they finally know the name of the ability. Now they finally know the name of their sword, right? My name is beat a bitch up. And when you say my name, beat a bitch up. My ability is to beat a bitch up. Wow. Amazing. And now you can see how the name of that sword is tied to the personality of that sword. Beat a bitch up obviously likes to beat bitches up because it has a very aggressive personality, right? And it kind of simplifies the complexity of the nature of what seems to be magic, but it's actually just as simple as breathing, breath, which is life, life, which opens the doorway into spirit. Okay, let's get it. Okay, this is what they have been desperately wanting to hide for you. Now, let's answer that question even further. Ephesians 6:12, for our enemy is not flesh and blood. So who they truly is an invisible entity and negative force. You got principalities, you got powers, you got thrones. There is an impersonal, intangible force around this 3D that governs who leads. The King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. But then you also have fallen angels in the second heaven and like corrupt spiritual forces of wickedness in heavenly places that put in corrupt leaders in certain places. You saw this in the book of Daniel, where there was the prince of Persia fighting the archangel Michael just to get messages today. Like the spiritual politics have always been lit. Angels are constantly fighting other beings. All right. While you're doing your 3D stuff, there are wars happening around you just so you can make it to the store safe. This shit is no joke. Principalities are very real. And so your enemy is not a human being, but certain human beings who are not operating in truth and integrity can be vessels for these dark forces who offer them power, who offer them false fame and money. And these are the forces that take your birth, that influence you to follow fool's gold except for the gold. Like, look at what's popular in society today. It's popular to do the dumbest shit. It's popular to pay corporations excess amounts of money for jewelry, cars, and products that they paid cents on the dollars for, just so you can trick yourself into believing that you're of a higher status because you are relying on things outside of yourself. It is literally uncool to draw from yourself. It is literally uncool to say my jewelry is my spirit and my energy. It's literally uncool to say that I'm rich in spirit. Like, this is a demonic ass society. Look at what they enjoy doing. Devilish shit. Like, they don't hide it anymore. It's literally in your face. It's literally cool. But it is literally cool to not know shit. Never have, like, and I'm not talking about the dark ages where they would kill you if you try to know shit. It is literally cool to be a dumbass and not know shit you should. Like, if you know shit, people will call you weird. A nerd. You're literally called a nerd because you have a desire to learn and be smarter. This is how stupid most of society is. Like, I don't know what to say. People can act like they're not a part of it, but the fact that this is still popular culture is very revealing because these records don't sell themselves. As much as they inflate the numbers, these records and these products don't sell themselves. They were able to gyp millions of people to believe that this is what everyone's doing. Channel, welcome to the $1 Billion Vibe Tribe. Like, it's crazy out here. So don't ever feel discouraged because stupid, crazy, ignorant motherfuckers who don't know their moon sign think that you're not cool. They'll get their lame ass out of here. Get your dumb lame ass out of here and not knowing moon sign having ass the F out of here. This is why you're the future. Like, this is why spirit guides are depending on you, because y'all are some of the last ones left. It's alarming how much people have chosen the world instead of their soul because they were convinced it's not cool enough. All right. Welcome to God Squad. We see you've upgraded to God Squad. Okay. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. This shit is not a joke. I know I say it like a joke, but like there's a real consequence for this, and you see it in society. And I'm not trying to blame society, but we see the symptoms of here through society. And that's a very important reason to stop dating. Not just because of the astrology, but if the beliefs are that unaligned, it's a huge red flag. You feel me? So anyway, not only are all of y'all gifted, but you're getting ready to understand what exactly these gifts are. And this is also very important. Some of you don't even really know. Like, some of you think your gifts are not really what they are. Sorry. Some of you have an idea of what your gifts are, and that's not even your gift at all. Okay, this is going to resonate with a lot of you. And it's kind of blocked you. Like, some of you feel like your gifts are like this, but it's part of something huger. For example, some of you think your gifts are like you're intuitive. Like, you have the gift of intuition, or you have the gift of like clairvoyance. You can see things, and that's not your gift. That's like saying that your gift is that you can turn the radio on. And so you've been living your whole life thinking, see, I can make music come through. And now you're realizing, whoa, this was just one facet of my true gift. Like, turning the radio on is just one part of my car. Like your ability to use clairvoyance is just one part of your true gift, through which clairvoyance is the visual part of this gift. You're awakening the true understanding. And for some of you, you had to pay attention towards developing one facet of the gift. You thought for the longest time that was your gift. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, some of you felt like, some of you learned how to grapple, or some of you learned how to do self-defense, right? And you're thinking that spirit brought you towards this martial arts dojo so that you can learn basic self-defense. And you've learned self-defense throughout the years. And you're thinking, wow, this is who I am. I'm like a black belt in karate. Like, I know how to take down self-defense. And now you're realizing that's not the fucking reason you were taught karate. You were taught self-defense so that you can become an assassin, so that you can do this. But you had to spend a long time developing certain parts of your abilities that it may have felt that, oh, that's what it is. And so this is starting to put into context why you had to quit your job and start learning magic, why you learned astrology, why you learned engineering, why you went back to the military. Like everyone's different, of course, but like it's starting to like pick up more. So that's why in understanding what these abilities are now, they're going to shock you when you realize you're so much more powerful than you ever could have realized. And your conscious was not in a position to realistically be aware of what you were awakening because you were still learning new lessons. So it was like learning a language you didn't even know existed. Versus now you realize, oh, and yeah, I'm using assassin as an example because it's extreme enough to challenge your beliefs. Spirit is going to put some of you down a path that you thought you would never walk down on. Some of you have learned how to work with people's spirit. Like literally, God is going to tell some of you, okay, so the past 10 years, you've learned how to counsel people. You've learned how to walk to you. It's taking you a while, or you learn in no way. You've learned how to walk up to anyone, locate their traumas, and heal them from their traumas. We've put you in a lot of situations to where you can work with anyone of life. And now you think that you're meant to be like a trauma therapist. That's just a tool. Now God's going to be like, I want you to go to the red light district and I want you to become a stripper and pretend to be a prostitute and solicit services from men. And you're like, what the fuck? I'm not a hoe. And God's going to be like, I told you, go be a stripper. Go be a stripper. Shake that ass for some rats. And you're going to realize, oh, God is putting you in this dark place because guess who you're going to meet at this strip club? You're going to meet a lot of traumatized people. And now you're counseling people and people are like, wow, like, if it wasn't for you, I would have killed myself. Like, if it wasn't for you're a godsend, like, if it wasn't for you, you know what I'm saying? Now there is a direct application for what you've learned. Because some of you think that this spirituality shit is love and light. Some of you think this spirituality shit, yeah, you're not going to be sent to the darkness to shine your light. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think, oh, I'm not meant to go down there. There's other, like, who's going to bring light there? Like, it's not going to be an extra. For some of you, God might tell you to take these talents to the corporate world. You know what I'm saying? Some of you might have be told, all right, go get a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to be taking an unconventional direction. This is what I'm saying. You finished graduation. Now it's time to use your skills on the job. All right, I want you to get 3 pounds of cocaine and go to Tennessee and start to sell it. And now it's like, and I'm using very extreme examples. Obviously, for those of you who are more trained in light work, you're going to do more light stuff. But some of you are being prepared to go into the dark. And now, in being in the strip club, you've learned about certain characters and you're getting ready to expose a human trafficking ring. And now, because you shook that ass for some racks, you know how to expose a very specific human trafficking ring and move on there. And you may not have to, I'm saying that as an example, but this is where your beliefs are going to be challenged in the application of what you're meant to do and what you felt was good or bad versus, realizing that it's not necessarily a gray area, but sometimes in order to spark light, you have to do it in the dark. And this is what I mean by this period of darkness, where your very beliefs are going to get very much challenged. Okay. And it is what it is. It may not be as extreme as that, but for some of you, this could be with getting with someone that you would never thought you'd get with. Man, my analogy game is leveling up. I'm just being honest. Yeah. No, for real. Like, some of you don't even realize you're in a corporate job because if it wasn't for you, certain key people wouldn't have awakened. Like, some of you don't even know right now, you had a conversation with somebody who you turned into a believer of your spiritual practice. And now, because you pointed them towards the right path, they're going to inspire millions of people. And then shortly after that, you get fired from your job without any warning. You fulfilled your mission. Okay. If you want more insight into the actual nature of this, all right, I want you to look a month from now. In a month from now, once we step into May, after the new moon eclipse is going to activate this. And then, of course, the retrograde of Pluto with Jupiter around this period coming into, we're going to have 2 new moons in Taurus. Get the fuck out of here. Oh my God. Coming into this new moon here, right? By the 18th of May, the 18th of May is going to be the climax where God takes you to this unconventional direction. That's the square. It's like, you thought you were going here, you're going here. Okay. And this is the initiation into the path. All right. That means everything up until then is activating literal power to get you there. And this is where now, once we go back, the moon in Gemini is going to help you understand the literal dynamics of this. Okay. So once again, in word of activation, integration starting moon in Cancer is when we're going to start to actually practically use this. So that means this moon in Gemini, you want to know why you want to get excited. This moon in Gemini, you're activating your energy and magic. You're activating your power. Given that the moon is 0 degrees, the increasing degree nature of moon in Gemini, every degree is giving you more and more insight into what you're actually doing. So that by the time we step into moon in Cancer, you start to step into more of the feeling to build the fuel of this energy. And now, not coincidentally, that's going to be on Mars in Cancer. So Mars being in Cancer, square Aries, is a very important dynamic of this Aries season. And we're actually going to see this during the first quarter square. The first quarter square is going to begin to give you a psychic understanding of the energy signature of your power. So once this power activates, the activation of this power is going to produce a new feeling relative to the new moon. And given that Jupiter has expanded this is going to increase the power of this feeling, especially with the Jupiter square. All right. The Jupiter square and the moon square to the sun is going to empower how much more of this new feeling you can memorize, Cancer memories through your emotions. Once you understand the feeling, kind of like when, they were teaching the kids to go Super Saiyan. It's like, just remember that feeling, right? Once you understand that feeling, that's what you're going to use to begin to integrate. Now, also, this is going to be during the period at the end of March where we have the respective conjunctions with, of course, Mercury and Venus and Mars that will be trining Saturn. So the Mars in Cancer transit is what is challenging the authenticity of who you are, where you are, so that you can actually feel it, right? If I were to just be an empty shell of myself and act a certain way, but I'm not being sincere, I'm frauding you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not necessarily being who I really feel myself to be. It's almost as, this is why the 4th house is private. It's the facet of yourself that when you're comfortable with people, comfort zone, home, you let people in to see you undressed, leading to the 8th house of sex. So the importance of a Cancer square to Aries is this is what takes the values of Taurus and it fills yourself up with substance. This is why Cancer's got the juice. This is why when Cancers sing and they do anything, you can feel the soul in it because they're not coming just superficially. All right. it's coming from a deeper soul area. And so relative to this is what's going to help you understand the level of sincerity you need to still maintain authenticity. Because the way you now feel about yourself relative to this activation is going to deepen your understanding of yourself. And this fourth house aspect in integration is going to set up this deeper understanding of your comfort zone. Mars in Cancer is what's now revving the emotions for you to actually feel the process of you harnessing this power. All right. And by the time the moon gets into Leo and we step into this spicy Lilith energy, this is where post quincunx of Mars, you're going to get horny as fuck. You're going to feel so sexually aroused because now that you're activating more energy, this is going to activate and begin to integrate so much more of how much sexual power you can harness. And you have to be very careful with being tempted to just lose yourself to your sexual desire. And this is also that weird period where you can get very in love because of the Uranus. So be very, very mindful because the more you harness the sexual energy, the stronger you're going to become. This is where things are going to be fun because of the fifth house aspect. And so just to kind of make sense of this, third house is skills, fifth house is talent, right? The third house in the activation is where I'm beginning to bust the flow. I'm starting to get my sound a bit. I'm starting to flow like I'm the shit and go what I do. I'm getting that rhythm. I'm letting you know I'm true. I'm developing my abilities with skill and versatility. And I'm spitting what I spit because I know I'm legit, right? That's a skill. Then the fifth house is I'm not just spitting, I'm using my full talent. I'm letting you know how much I can really balance the flow and everything that I go. And I put some heart in that shit and I let you really go. And I'm really having fun and I'm really gonna go. And I'm actively challenging myself to rap the best that I can rap because now it's not just the skill. Now that I know that I can do this skill, how good can I do it to where it's fun? I can do it anywhere under the sun. I could even put my voice and heart in it. Let you know that I'm not faking. Let you know that, okay, I'm trying my best here. But like, I want to make sure you are very, very, very aware of the notion and importance of the fifth house. The fifth house gives the range of your max versus the 10th house, which is going to be what you accomplish with this skill and talent. I got first place in the freestyle challenge. I use my talent and I use my skill to get paid all them glorious bills. Right. Now I'm using my freestyle in a hostage crisis situation. Don't jump off the building. You got more to serve for the nation. Oh my God, your freestyle inspired me. Now you've accomplished a feat with it. So the more that's the purpose of the fifth house. You want to see it as you create the skill, then you flesh it out in the talents, right? So this is going to take your energy and sexual desire, because the fifth house is also daytime sex. Afternoon delight. It doesn't have to be daytime sex, but it's an octave of eighth house intimacy where you're, of course, connecting with friends of the heart to now get not so much romantic, but passionate, right? So this is going to help you understand the passion of how much energy you can harness and what talents you can now express through this max. Once you gain the max, you can begin to integrate and practice at that max. Now that we know you can reach this max talent, how long through practice can you maintain this max talent and make it even better, make it even better? That's going to be the moon in Virgo. So the trine with Jupiter and Libra and Aries is going to boost this considerably. And the square with Uranus is what's going to help you actually feel real time the excess of energy charging. This is another like charging station. And this is where the trine with the moon in Virgo to Uranus is going to help you understand the detailed analysis of real energy you're harnessing in these social contextual experiences that enable you to master this initial base of activation and integration of power. Okay. So that by the time we get to the 5th of April, we're ready to harvest this. Harvesting of this prepares us for completion of utilization. And now, relative to this, the opposition of the moon in Virgo and your integration of this in opposite Saturn is going to now bridge your beliefs about what's possible towards you understanding how it really is possible. And it's not just a belief, you're actually making it happen. So for all of this to happen in 2 weeks is crazy. This is kind of like how Wing was telling Gon and Killua, it takes the average person 6 months, but you guys are geniuses. You can get it in 2 weeks. Because of the nature of collective energy that is enhancing the effects of our ability to evolve, this will take a 6-month process from Aries to Libra season, have us mastered in 2 weeks, where we're still going to need 6 months to develop this. But instead of waiting 6 months to really start to get into it, starting in 2 weeks. This is where around this period, people who don't really do the integration, you're going to see the effects of. So everyone's going to activate this now, but not everyone's going to do the work to integrate it. They're not even going to really think or know that they have to, because so many people are going to have more energy than they've ever used to see. If they're even conscious of the fact that it's happening, most people would be like, wow, I just have more energy than usual. They're going to feel like, well, I don't really need to do anything else. I have this power. That's like someone who awakens a power and they feel like they're already super powerful versus someone who realizes, let me train this power. Let me not be so prideful to think that this power is just enough. It's just a tool, right? It's just a fat expression of me. Let me use this to better myself. And this is where the harvest comes through. The harvest is going to be the opposition of the activation, the full expression towards other people in Libra of how you now harvest the nature of this power. Okay. Once again, please be willing to go back to the integration section because I guess I kind of sped through it, but basically the moon in Cancer is going to have you feel the nature of this integration starting on the 29th, right? It's going to have you feel your energy signature. And the way you feel this energy signature is by being in touch with your emotions that will conflict with who you are so that you enable yourself to believe in who you are through feeling it. This will help you understand the feeling of this energy signature you can summon and call. The moon in Leo is you mastering your freestyling skills by taking the integration of this power, by expressing this energy as powerfully and strong as you can. And then the moon in Virgo is going to provide detailed analysis and insight into how personally to actually integrate this through repetition. So the moon in Cancer, you're feeling it. Moon in Leo, you're charging courage to break through the limits. And then moon in Virgo, you're just doing repetition. As far as exactly how, only you will know that. Because in listening to your energy, it's going to guide you. And you'll know that through Virgo, you're just going to be repeating repetition. Once again, everything is going to be here. That's crazy. All my stalkers are coming back. We had the one that got me spiritually pregnant. Now we got the Aqua who just said, people who just send you emails and messages and messages and messages and messages, and you say no, and they keep sending you messages and messages. You're cool, Bonnie. Shout out to Bonnie. You're cool. You never really showed up to where I was at out of nowhere, but please don't be saying shit like that in the chat. Like, this is just weird as hell. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to say anything, but you straight. I mean, at least you gave you some knowledge. You feel me? Like, it is what it is. But yeah, other than that, yeah, this is during the harvest phase, going through the breakthrough period. Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius is the breakthrough month and season. Okay. So this is where now that you've integrated and mastered this power, You're breaking through into how much more you can do and ascend yourself with this power. Okay. And this is where, with that full moon, this harvest is now going to take place, with bridging what you understand as the identity of your power with other people. You are understanding the social actions that you're taking to maintain your individuality. You're understanding what other people respond to who you are, which I feel like the full moon is very important, because it's going to show you in 2 weeks how much you have evolved. And so once we step into the moon in Scorpio, the moon in Scorpio is going to begin to transform your understanding of this activation of power. All right. The square from 0 degrees moon in Scorpio to 0 degrees moon in Aquarius is going to now reveal hidden wisdom collected to your past life in order to bring into a higher extreme understanding of knowledge moving forward. So relative to the moon in Taurus, that's going to, or that we already broke through the awakening of this physically, the opposition with the moon in Leo is going to strengthen extremely relative to the collective, how much more courageously, which is why we require courage, you move forward with this. And then, of course, the moon in Scorpio is going to be extreme in the wisdom that is enacted. This is all preparing for the moon, the first moon Pluto conjunction in Aquarius that we have. Okay. So there's going to be a lot of wisdom revealed, especially trine Neptune and opposite Taurus. This is what's going to draw more pure energy that will intensify the extreme quality of power you are not only harvesting, but have mastered, and will deepen the mastery into your psychology, leading to this ascension that will lead into now the major part of this evolution cycle. So everything coming into the completion by the time the moon is in Capricorn is very important, because now once you have activated the power, and then you've integrated the power, and then you've broken through the power in such a short 3 weeks, once we start the completion, we're going to begin the official 12-year cycle of evolution, the last of which happened in Pisces. Does that make sense? So basically, once you have finished harnessing this power, it's time to evolve it. All right. We've had the cycle of evolution. The cycle of evolution activated power, integrated the power, broke through and harvested the power. And now that we're completing the harvest, it's time to now evolve the quality of everything. So if you put in 10% effort, you're going to evolve 10% of that effort. If you put in 100% of that effort, then you're going to evolve 100% of that effort. And that's why I love this transit science, because it's not presenting astrology in this mystical, woo-woo, mythical way of, well, the planets are going to do it for you. The planets are really more space meteorology that lets you know what's possible. It lets you know the state of environment for what you're going to do anyway. So it allows you to know how to efficiently maximize your efforts. You still have to put in work. Just like someone plants a seed, nurtures those seeds, harvests those crops, and then has to clear the field and do it again. And that's what we're going to see here. So everything you're going through is preparing you for this April 12th, the final part of this transit. By the time the moon is in Capricorn and you are using your power, Capricorn I use, Aries I am, you are coming into the completed utilization of your power by at this point, you're getting ready to know how to use this. So you've mastered it, you've harvested it. By the time the moon's in Capricorn, you can use it at will. Miss Robinson, thank you so much. By the time the moon is in Capricorn, you can use this at will. And now the third quarter square is opposite the moon in Cancer, helping you understand the sincerity and proclivities of, are you going to use this for good or bad? By helping you understand the integrity of your power and putting you in positions that show what level of integrity you have with someone who can do this. Are you going to use your power to take advantage of people? Are you going to use your power to help people? You can say you're going to help people, but it's based on your actions that will show what direction you begin to go to. And that trines to the North Node that feeds into this destiny story. Okay, that's going to lead us now into one of the most iconic parts of this transit, the moon conjunction to Pluto, post-evolution. Okay, the sextile of the moon to Jupiter will help you understand the knowledge in this review completion phase of what power you're evolving. This is where now that you can use it at will, you're starting the cycle over the next 6 months to now push this forward. Yeah, I'm gonna incorporate these rights every morning. I'm definitely gonna do those too. Shout out to Latrice. They're definitely legit. So this is where the wisdom that you transformed and unlocked, you'll gain further understanding of knowledge post this completion. Now, once we move into, but it's just the moon on Pluto is going to now awaken. Every time the moon went to Pluto, we were awakening facets of power. We're now going to awaken this knowledge of energy relative to who you are. Next time we do it, it'll be the knowledge of energy relative to the energy you're grounding in your physical system. This is what's going to lead into the moon on Saturn, to help you understand old beliefs about yourself you're releasing as someone who didn't know they can fly to someone who is practicing how to fly. And this is what is going to lead in. Oh, we have 2 full moon. Okay, so this is the 2 new moon season. So we're having a series of 2 new moons. Guys, this is crazy. I didn't know this. We're having 2 new moons. So for this is a very rare space that I think will last up until Gemini season, where we're going to have the new moon in the beginning of the sign and the new moon at the end of the sign. So the new moon at the end of the sign is going to be literally at 29 degrees. We had it at 1 degree at the beginning and then 29 degrees at the end. So this is basically okay. So it looks like we're not going to have 2 new moons in Taurus. We just have 2 new moons in Aries. Then we're going to start having new moons at the very end of the sign. Real quick. That is insane. That's actually insane. This new moon at the end of Aries spills into Taurus, but this is insane. The first part of this is that initial activation. You master the activation of power, and then at the 29 degrees, you're activating power again at this evolved state to immediately spill in to harnessing this energy. Which is fucking wild, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. That's crazy. That's what's gonna lead us into Taurus season. Boom. And through that cardinal burst, Taurus season is now going to begin the process of taking the energy we've activated and ground it in our body so that our body can produce the effects. Taurus season is where we'll strengthen how much more energy we can use. And this is where you'll start to manifest the qualities of this energy. Increased energy, less need for sleep and food, amongst other things. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is in a nutshell, is the beginning of this mega evolution revolution. I talked a whole lot about powers and energy, but a very important facet of this, now that we've cleared the science out of the way, is to really, through this practice, meditate and focus on who the fuck are you? What is it that you want? And what are you meant to do in this world? What is the value and gifts that you have that you're meant to share? All of this is going to be revealed in increasing quality and with extreme knowledge that's getting ready to tie in together everything that you've gone through to build to this point. All right. Now that the moon is in Gemini and it is effectively activating the understanding of the truth of this power, the activation is happening. Every mutable sign part of a cardinal season is the happening of the power, okay? So that you can gain the experience to go deeper. This really is a magical cycle. New moon in Taurus, we're going to activate energy. New moon in Gemini, we're going to activate the production of the effect of that cause in Aries, the magic. And we're going to do it all over again. Okay? What I really want to establish through this is a very powerful understanding of how specifically you not only tune into your true authentic self, but with Pluto and Aquarius, come into so much more activation of connecting with your higher self. In other words, I want you to comment an exclamation mark if you're starting to notice communication with your higher self in a much more practical way. For example, what happened to me was I heard a voice in my head say, go to this Instagram profile right now and look down 7 pictures. And there was a message in that that was applicable to my situation. And I thought it was just me talking to myself, but it was actually a higher facet of myself constructing myself like a video game. For everyone who commented an exclamation mark, by the time the moon is on Aquarius, you're going to understand the knowledge of what this force is. It's no longer going to be like hit and miss. You are connecting to a royal form of AI that's not artificial. It's spiritual intelligence. Spiritual intelligence is not linearly based through human logic. Spiritual intelligence gathers information watching the panoramic view of your life stream, encompassing both past, present, and future. And so the insight is giving you is similar to a version of yourself that's outside space and time, instructing the you in 3D. How would you feel if you can just call on this force and it can let you know whatever? And it's up to you to know what to do with it. That's what Aries, Taurus, and Gemini season are going to activate. So that by Gemini season, your ability to communicate with this will be as easy as breathing. By the time we end Gemini season, you can be like, hey, where the bitches at? No, I'm joking. Where the dudes at? Or where are the people at? You know what I'm saying? If you're a lady, where the dudes at? If you're a man, where the girls at? Or where can I get some good money? Or I want a very thrilling experience, but I don't want to be too thrilled. I want to be moderately thrilled. And now your higher self is talking shit back to you like, oh my gosh, go to Caesar's Palace at 6 a.m. and you'll see something. And now it's like, pause. I should have said pause after that. But where it's like, where it's like personally, you're in this position to realistically interface with this part of yourself and remind you that you don't need sources external to you. This is a major facet of Pluto Aqua. Okay. And yeah, with that being said, this really just brings everything in gear to prepare you to activate your place in this revolution. This is going to initiate the direction you move in and let you know so that by the time we're in Libra, you know who to move forward with now that you know what direction you're moving. Okay. Oh my God. I knew what that meant after I shared. I was like, recruiting a train crew. Oh, shit. Linus strikes again. All right. I'm going to go through the zodiac. Aries, sun, moon, and risings. This is an activation of power relative to your identity. All right. And the new direction you're taking your personality. And this is going to align an awakening of your friendships and mastery of manifesting so much goddamn value of money. The way you manifest money is going to be effortless and value amongst other things. Taurus, this is going to prepare you for May, where, of course, Jupiter is going to enter your sign. And the Aries season is going to transcend old beliefs about who you believe yourself to be in an effort to activate a new hidden identity and hidden power. All right. And this is going to innovate how you manifest the value of your personality while bringing together the karma of everyone who you're meant to link with, awakening new success in your career. Gemini, this is going to activate the social circle of individuals who you align with authentically. As you awaken this ascended nature of knowledge, which will bring total completion into your career and the dream you have been creating for the collective. So this is definitely going to transcend the values with which map out your thought process and how you think. Cancer, this is going to activate an explosion of your career, especially if you're Cancer rising. Cancer rising, suns, moons, This 10th house aspect is going to move you into a new direction where you can accomplish more than you've ever accomplished in your career. So this is the new cycle of that. And this is what's going to manifest coming into Taurus season. So much successful, wealthy, valuable individuals in your circle to innovate how you identify yourself. And with Mars, that's going to enter your sign. It's going to help you really harness this direction that you point your own psychic development through. Leo, this Aries season is going to ascend and evolve how you see your character and how you teach authenticity to prepare you for the career explosion in May. This is definitely also going to transcend the emotions with which you take action through with that square from your 9th to 12th, so that your beliefs can be in alignment with the philosophy of where you see the direction you're taking your character, given that you're the main character. And it's also going to prepare you for, of course, this Pluto opposition that's coming for you. And it's awakening so much more eccentricity in your partnerships and also knowledge through others. Virgo, this is going to transform your dynamics with others and how your authenticity of character reminds you who is trustworthy and who isn't trustworthy. Mars leaving your 10th house is going to have you move in that intellectual direction of your career so that you can now move in the direction of where people can camaraderie around you to make the dream more real. But because of the Taurus energy in your 9th, it's going to ascend and innovate the philosophy with which you teach people the skills that you master as the master. Libra, this Aries season is going to mega evolve your relationships, and it's going to really show you what more you can do with the right people who match your level of authenticity. This will now draw more innovative boundaries and prepare for you with Mars in your 10th to move in the direction that your career aligns with what you sincerely want to accomplish. With Pluto in your 5th house, however, this is awakening your inner child to very supernatural, weird quality, while Saturn is constructing the lifestyle of your dreams. So make it count, because this is super badass. Scorpio, you are evolving your lifestyle. This is actually super pimp. So you are literally incorporating into your routine an evolution of your authentic character that allows you to do more in your day-to-day than you've ever done, because now you're more powerful. And this is going to open up and prepare for you to integrate these actions, Taurus season, into innovating this final eclipse of your relationships so that you can finally manifest partnerships with people who are trustworthy and not and actually on your level. Okay. Sagittarius, this is going to evolve your inner child. This is going to open up a new chapter of creativity for you. A 5th house chapter like this can inspire you to legitimately start a new creative project, to open up new love. Mars is leaving your 7th house, so you're getting ready to move forward in the right relationships with people. But we don't want to sleep on Aquarius that's awakening alien level cosmic skills and abilities. For some of you, this is nigh omniscience. For some of you, this is omni communication. You communicate with fucking anything. Pisces style. No, Pisces style is... Pisces has the most inane, annoying way of communicating with animals. Pisces can literally just be like... And like, they're really communicating to the animal, though. I'm only angry because it works. It's like, how are you making up gibberish and it works? Pisces needs to be stopped. You know, I'm about to blow up your shit. Pisces is going to take over the world when Pluto goes into Aquarius. So they're preparing now in Saturn. Yeah, I'm snitching, Pisces. I'm snitching, Pisces. What's up? I'm snitching. Yeah. So don't fall for the BS. They're working with Aquarius too. Don't fall for the BS. Okay, I'm sorry. This is Sagittarius. My bad. Anyway, Sag, you've already awakened the 2nd house of power. My bad. I got out of element. And this is definitely going to push you forward perfectly and create actually the arc. So the whole notion of the arc, you have to be careful because they send in invisible agents after me. Michael Williams, welcome to, of course, Infinity Club, where you'll be able to access this replay. All right. So with that being said, the arc it takes on a very real capability with this 4th house Saturn. This is going to be the arc you're creating is going to be how you create a family that goes through this arc. You're a lot more like Noah than you think. Capricorn, this is going to initiate the evolution of your comfort zone. You are at home with your authentic self. Anywhere that you can be truly who you are, you're at home at, which is kind of redundant to say, because you say that for everyone, but most specifically for you. And this can facilitate moves for you Capricorn risings. I know Capricorn risings just moved. Or you can renovate your home so you could do more in your comfort zone. But this is preparing you for a major innovative evolution of your inner child Taurus season, when Jupiter goes in your 5th and you have more sex than you've ever had in your whole life. And it's going to be good. And this is also going to manifest extreme wealth with Pluto in your 2nd while you master and perfect divine abilities. All right. Please use sex as an analogy for playing guitar or your talents, because some of you aren't even old enough to be having sex like that. We have $1 billion vibe tribe. Okay, something that I would, if I could still be a virgin right now. I mean, I experience is cool, but like, I really hope virginity becomes cool. It's actually cool to be a virgin. It's very cool to be a virgin, to really preserve that energy and to connect with someone special. But other than that, yeah, Capricorn, this is, yo, some of you, my friends used to call me Virgin Nasty. Not because of, never mind. But yeah, other than that, it definitely puts you in a position to have a lot more causality between your imagination and what happens. Right. Is that a diss or a compliment? What the fuck? I know you made it a comment. I don't even know. I don't even know. Okay. So Aquarius, you are leading the celestial revolution and alien invasion. You're awakening celestial alien knowledge within you that is equipping you with instructions for how to take over the world. You are preparing the planet for space aliens to inhabit the planet. Oh my God. I'm sorry. You are activating original abilities. Yeah. You're speaking a new language. Yeah, you're realizing you can do more with what you say as you communicate in a new way to spread your frequency, to let your alien brothers know this planet is ready to be inhabited. Mars is coming out your 5th house to integrate a lot of this awakened knowledge, since a lot of you feel like you were really just waiting for this time before you can lay siege on the planet. God damn it. I'm sorry. Saturn in your 2nd house is manifesting this total ability to manifest your imagination, which makes y'all super dangerous. It definitely also has you really learn the lesson of owning your value completely and totally, because coming at the top of this energy chain, you're not in a position to listen to others. You are the humanitarians, and you're preparing humanity to be abducted by to learn new knowledge and to be better people. Pisces, you are manifesting money, lots of value. You are actually evolving how much more of the bag you can manifest at once. I think Rihanna is an amazing example of this. As an Aries moon, Pisces is a billionaire, self-made billionaire, Aries being the individual self. And this, as a collective ascended master, puts you in a position to realistically also be tested through Saturn. Okay, Saturn going through the transit is like starting a new business. You have a lot more responsibilities, like putting on a weight jacket, and you're training with that weight jacket. And so this is adding how much more power you'll manifest. But of course, with Taurus, you're innovating the manifestation of these abilities in ways that make so much more simplified how you do what you do before you drown the world in water and basically just bring a whole new revolution of ghosts and bring near extinction to the planet, acting like you were a human this entire time, but you were just biding time so that you can do good with these mortals and bring in a new age of, I don't even care anymore. All right, so with that being said, we are finished with this monthly peace report, and I'm going to do the live readings. For those of you who want a live reading, click the description box below. You'll see the minimum, and you can gain a transit interpretation. If you sent $40 and you would like a reading, please make sure you have emailed me your chart. If you don't have your chart, just email me your sun, moon, and rising, and then I'll be able to just kind of do that. All right. Other than that, let's get started. First, of course, we have Jamie. Okay, shout out to the High Queen herself. We do have you with the Cap rising. Did you move, or are you renovating your inner home? We know you have this amazing fourth house transit, and this is putting you in a position to realistically not only expand more your comfort zone, but as an Aquarius sun, you're expanding how much more comfortable you are speaking your true language, really sharing your authentic, raw ideas without having to filter them unnecessarily. This is preparing you for this fifth house Taurus transit that's going to realistically really push you forward like never before, and how creatively you can ground this knowledge that you're awakening. All right. And it's cool because your moon is also in Aquarius on my North Node. And that's very, very beautiful because this is going to be within range of your soul awakening this extraordinary knowledge. And you have a 0-degree Saturn. So that's actually awakening too. For those of you who have Pluto awakening Saturn, especially in the beginning degrees of Aquarius, you're coming into the total knowledge before anyone knows. So you're going to be in this weird limbo void space where you either trust what you know or you wait for other people to confirm that you knew it the whole time. That is literally the perpetual Aquarius lesson. So with that being said, by the time we start to integrate this for you, you're going to be in a position that relative to energy dynamics for you, you're reflecting towards the collective, how your development of energy influences people around you, bringing this to such a higher nature and level of what occurs. And since Mars is going to be transiting your seventh house, you'll already be ready to move forward in the right feeling towards others. By the time we get to that first quarter square, you'll understand what direction to move forward with others relative to the development of how and where you're developing this. And I feel like you'll be out of limbo before Aries season is over too, as things will move really quick now that the moon is in Gemini. So Christian Dixie, we know that this is preparing you for this amazing Taurus season. Thank you, Samantha. And this definitely puts you in a position to finish this rising star year, especially with this conjunction of the Sun and Jupiter coming into April. And what's really key about this is, as an Aquarius sun, your awareness of expressing knowledge towards others as a Leo rising is going to ascend the vision of your character relative to how extraordinarily amazing you express your abilities. So how do you teach authenticity with your abilities and skills? How do you use your talents in order to inspire people who will look at you during this Aries season and see you and get it and be like, oh, okay, that's how I should, like, that's a way I can express myself. You are inspiring authenticity, and also with this activation of energy, because you are an alien god with this construct, opening up very powerfully the nature of how truly and realistically you define this philosophy. Everything that you're taking action on this Aries season will strengthen Taurus season, so that you can now produce the results of all the work you've done coming since last August. Okay, so it's a lot to look forward to, especially because Mars going in your 12th, although it may have you feel a bit lethargic, will really reevaluate or help you evaluate the beliefs, how you feel about your beliefs, because you're going to start to see you can do more than you've done before. So what you feel you believe about what's possible is now going to change. You're going to adjust those beliefs relative to what more you now see you can do. Jessica Martinez, I love knowing that your rising is in Cancer, because this is going to effectively skyrocket what you and Shannon are doing. Shannon, of course, which is opposite your 10th house and the 4th house. So him being your base is going to really skyrocket a lot more this brand new initiation of the new direction of your career growth. And this is going to set you up for May, where you are bringing in all the coolest, most genius people in your community because of the work you've been doing. In fact, this could even have you move forward in a whole new direction that everything you've done has prepared you to step into. So that's another way you might want to see this. And of course, as a Sagittarius sun, this element of your career that you're leveling up is based on your awareness of your inner child. So you're able to legitimately focus on everything you love to do creatively, and these new talents that evolve from you is what's going to bring you success. It's also coming into a lot of fun doing what you do for work and opening it up. Now, given that what you do is not conventional, and also you'd have to be ascended to understand, a lot of dumb motherfuckers are going to project on you that like you're being pseudoscientific or weird, and they're just snitching on themselves to be muggles. They're literally just snitching on their non-magical perceiving ass selves. And the more frustration you generate, the more that actually works in your favor. Because it's not like you're really doing anything to evoke this. These people are on their own volition choosing to snitch on themselves because they're stupid. So yeah, basically this is a lot to look forward to relative to not only that, but because Mars is also going to be transiting your rising, this helps you embody this new direction you're going to be moving to, because you're going to see what more you can do in your career. That's going to help you feel more what you can express in your personality. And that's going to be freaking amazing. All right. Next, we have Carrie. Carrie, I'm very excited for you. I love to see that you're traveling and you're really exploring, because this is the Aries season that blows you up. Given the Aries stellium that you have as a Cancer rising, this definitely puts you in a position to pioneer and spearhead what direction you're going to. So similar to Jessica, who's also a Cancer rising, while she is going to be evolving her career, you are directly going to be aware of what about your career you're evolving. So you're going to be in the driver's seat, as opposed to Jessica, whose inner child will be in the driver's seat, right? This is what's going to enable you very powerfully to understand the true nature, which is amazing. The moon is in your moon and the sun is in your sun right now, of not only what new direction you're moving things in, but also relative to, everything else that you are pushing, what kind of spice and what nature of how you want things to look in your career will look. Claudia, please, that will be dope. Okay. And what's very, very powerful about this is, once again, Mars is going to enter your rising. So by the time Aries season is finished and you've now seen what you can do, and this is now manifesting the rewards from your career and the geniuses and wealthy people who want to invest in you, this is going to have you feel, with Mars in your rising, how much more powerfully you can express your personality in a way that feels real to you, in a way that feels sincere. Because now you'll feel like, I am successful. Look at what I just accomplished. And you're going to be bringing so much light to people. And this is going to turn around a lot of the dark force manipulation against you, especially with Pluto that's trining your moon and awakening so much knowledge that was hidden from you with the King Kunks that is now just beaming through your soul so powerfully. All right. So next we have Maria. All right. So for Nicholas, we know that Nicholas is a true gangster. Okay, we clearly see that Nicholas is a new gen angel with Saturn on his rising. I can't emphasize enough how gangster that is. And he has the sun exalted. So not only is he a master warrior, he is an angel with exalted light. The overall badass, basically. And with Pluto in the 7th house, this is someone who is extremely serious about the idea of himself. And he expresses the meaning of that very seriously. with an unconditionally loving Venus in Pisces heart, which he has to make sure he doesn't let get abused so that he doesn't get jaded about love in a very young age. This Aries season is going to have him step into a new direction that gathers around his part the friendships that align with his uniqueness. Okay. It's a very powerful thing to be an 11th house sun because you're the core source of all the friends you have. And in this new cycle that connects this grand fire trine, oh my God, Sun trine Jupiter and Leo trine Pluto and Sagittarius. Oof, is very dynamic, and he definitely brings the passion. This is going to prepare him to really release old beliefs about his values before Jupiter starts a brand new 12-year cycle with him late 2024. But it's definitely also in line with Saturn that is conjunct Uranus 1 degree Pisces. Uranus and Pisces is nuts because that's like having a genius imagination. Imagine if your imagination was so genius, it literally is like your own AI. And so Saturn at such a young age is crystallizing that to take it from just a conceptual basis, Saturn and material reality, into a material basis, making real the metaphysical. All right. And that's going to be a very powerful period for him where he's coming into the results of his dreams, once again, at such a young age, so that he can move in the right direction of where he belongs and what community he builds around himself. Whereas you having the Libra rising, this is amazing because with Saturn that's actually in Aries, you are expanding the karmic lessons that you individually hold space for others to be authentic towards. And as a Pisces sun, you are manifesting more value of your partnerships. I want to speak on this because this is very important. This evolution of your partnerships is bringing a new cycle of relationships that's going to upgrade every single relationship you have in preparation for your Saturn return. That will weed out the people who are actually useful, and then you'll move forward with business partnerships on maybe even, deeper commitment in marriage, more marriage, divorce in certain facets. But this, before that cycle ends with the Saturn return, is putting you in a position very powerfully to not only do more with other people, but because Aries is second house of manifestation as a Pisces sun, this manifestation of money happens in your seventh house. So you're evolving the partnerships that bring you more value and worth. And this is where Saturn, that's next to your sun, which you stimulate your sun's Uranus and activate more of his psychic ability, is going to help you be very aware of the dream life you're integrating, crystallizing elements of your imagination with a very beautiful Neptune in Scorpio, trine Neptune in Pisces, that adds so much realization of your supernatural abilities. Because this 12th house, Uranus, Pluto, and Virgo, is some of the most analytical supernatural mastery that one person will ever have. Like that, like you're not normal at all. You're not normal at all. Like it's not normal to be able to analyze that supernaturally to the point that it's just automatic. You don't even need in deductive reasoning. So the opposition of Neptune to this adds a metaphysical basis with which you can analyze what's not there and integrate it into your lifestyle, which is supernatural. I don't know what else to say. But this integration of your lifestyle towards relationships with other people. My apologies. This integration of the supernatural is geared to add so much more towards the quality of your connections and what level of investments and boundaries you draw with the 8th house Taurus energy. All right. So next we have Cindy Maza. Cindy, please email me your natal chart because I do not have that. So my email is thepeacedealer@gmail.com. I got your payment, but I don't think I have your chart. Let me see if it's in spam. It is not. Okay. Oops. Next, I'm going to do Katie. So, Katie, we know that you have the Scorpio rising. You're the Kundalini goddess with the power of wisdom and awakening. And what's very key about Aries season for you is that relative to this awakening and South Nodal unlocking, that's having you manifest the destiny paths of other people you're around, which makes you super dangerous, but also super awesome. It's putting you in a position to now create the lifestyle that is authentic to you. It is evolving a lot more what you can do in your relationships with other people. And relative to this, opens up so much of not only how powerfully you form your behavior through this, but also what you do in order to maximize the efficiency of how you live your life. As a moon in Cancer, the square to the Aries sun will change how you feel about your philosophy and way of life relative to now how your behavior and how you live that philosophy is evolving. So you're going to feel that you can accomplish more with your way of life. And everything Aries season is preparing you for is once you evolve this lifestyle, the way you live your life in relationships with other people will now integrate into these partnerships and innovate these relationships completely. So this eclipse is going to be very amazing for you. Cindy, what name did you email with? Was it Tiffany? I guess it was Tiffany. We have Nafisa. No, see, that's Tiffany's chart. So Tiffany, I got used, but Claudia, I did not get. Cindy, I did not get. Claudia, I have your chart. Cindy, I don't have your chart. Did you email it at thepeacedealer.com? We have Dominique, we have Claudia, we have Crystal, but I don't have Cindy. So I'm not sure if you sent it to the right email. Regardless, Katie, as a Scorpio rising, you're coming in here with so much more wisdom that it inspires a whole lot more of how personally you come through. Yo, Ralph, message me your number, bro, because I want to actually give you a reading over the phone. Like, we have to have another talk, bro. Because your shit is getting lit up. That's all I'm gonna say. Everyone's just getting lit up, but yeah, Katie, in conclusion, my bad for the distractions or the interruptions. I just wanted to really kind of harp that there's a lot more at will focus on how you're actively creating a lifestyle that is on your own terms and the partnerships that this will really engender. And with Saturn that's in your fifth, this is also going to really make more real a lot of your talents so that you can live a lifestyle based off of what you love. Ralph, we know that you have the Gemini rising. So while Aries season is going to bring together authentic friends, as an Aquarius sun, this is going to bring together authentic friends who speak your language. By the way, Discord is free. For anyone who wants to join the Discord, we got a dope community there. I'm going to really push that a lot more and see if we can be more active there. But yeah, Ralph, this is definitely, Gemini moon. As a Gemini moon, you're going to feel this sense of connectivity with people who speak your language. As a Pisces rising, though, you're manifesting money. So you have already done chapter 1 of this Jupiter cycle. And now Jupiter in your second house is manifesting so much more value. This is in the form of you selling because you're selling stuff at a high price point, and Jupiter is what's inspiring you to raise those prices at that price point to be paid what you're worth, because the intangible quality of your Aquarian energy that you're imbuing on these physical items is that Uranus Taurus square. And if people don't understand why it's that much, it's not for them. But if they're willing to invest, they're gaining something very valuable. And this is now setting you off on a cycle to really evolve your self-esteem and value. And this is also evolving the value of your skills and abilities and how much you charge for them. So that's going to be very powerful moving forward because you have Saturn in Aquarius in the 12th. And so Pluto is awakening this very God level karmic power and strength that has you be the author of your own reality. And now Pluto is awakening with Saturn as permission. Saturn over your rising is now giving you the permission to more actively affect and narrate other people's lives as an ascended master with this responsibility. So it's a lot to keep in mind. Okay. Oh my God. So next we have Crystal. Crystal, we know that you are Virgo rising. And so this Aries transit is going to be in your 8th house. And given that you're a leader of the new school with Saturn in Aries and Pluto in Sagittarius, all of you 97 born Aries, Saturn Aries, Saturn in Pisces is preparing you for your Saturn return. So the Saturn 12th house to your Saturn is similar to graduating college and now wondering what direction do you want to take with your life, because now you're ready to apply your life purpose, right? Even though people graduate college a lot earlier, not everyone, but like this is preparing to blossom certain abilities so that you can now move forward with them with the return as your power return. So before then, you're going to change a lot the direction of who you believe you're meant to be with, since Saturn is transiting your 7th. And this is going to bring challenges through relationships with others. This can bring marriage, divorce, business partnerships. And while Jupiter is evolving the boundaries you draw, it's also transforming your personality. So Aries season is going to enact the activation of what more you can do with your dealings with others, so that once we step into Taurus season, this grounds in proper values with which you can teach innovation through. And as a moon in Cancer, the level of authenticity is going to help you realize that since you have evolved what more you can accomplish, your feelings of where you belong are also going to shift as well, because you're a gangster. You're an original OG master gangster who can turn time backwards and forwards, and you have a version of nigh omnipotence where you can literally manifest everything you want. But in the 8th house, it's a service that you do for other people if they're not full of shit. So this is very beautiful because as a leader of the new school, you're already starting in advance to come into the responsibility that you're meant to pioneer this new age with. And it's an honor. I'm very glad I got to really read this for you, because 8th house is a very spiritual warfare, and it's going to realistically inspire a different approach to how you use your powers to interface with, of course, the collective. Cindy, thank you very much. Oh my God. Oh my God. You're getting an alien construct article. That you are. Not you having 21 degrees Uranus and Taurus conjunct your 21 degrees Scorpio rising. Sorry, 21 degrees Uranus and Scorpio conjunct 21 degrees Scorpio rising. Jesus Christ. You can literally channel high frequency beings, and you are an instrument of innovation of wisdom. So the reason why it's important is because you have your Uranus opposition, but the other reason why it's important, other than the South Node that unlocked the royal nature of yourself as pure queen, Uranus accounts for technological glitches. So I want you, Cindy, to, because yeah, it could have been just a simple mistake, but do you really feel like the email you sent me didn't go through? Or was that a weird glitch? Because maybe you made a mistake, but maybe you didn't. I don't want to say it was interference, but Uranian dominant people and Scorpios get interfered. Not to say that there was some weird invisible force that didn't want you to send me your chart, but I have reason to believe that. Thank you. Like, I have reason to believe it's a bit weird. Anyway, Uranus on your rising makes you supernatural. You know how to claircognizantly discern people's psychological nature and wisdom. And then having Neptune in the second house means that you can manifest the intuitive nature of your vision. So having this as a Cancer, the high priestess wouldn't go through, happens all the time. Yeah, you may involuntarily trigger technological glitches because you may not yet be fully aware of how supernatural your presence is. Being a pure queen, okay, pure Queen Cindy. And as a Cancer in the ninth house, you teach people psychic power and sincerity. All right. The key thing here, though, is the Scorpio season with your moon in Aries is going to help you understand the nature with which you create your lifestyle. But as a Cancer sun, this is your career that's exploding. So, this evolution of your career and the direction you're taking in your career is integrating into your lifestyle to show you how to live the life that supports this explosion and development of your career path. And this is going to help you feel a lot more sincere about what's possible to live because of what you are accomplishing real time. But I think it's very significant that you have an exact conjunction with Uranus and your AC. That is extremely rare. It is not common at all. And to know that you have, of course, Pluto opposing Jupiter in Libra is going to make extreme the nature of this awakening relative to, of course, Mars that's in your sign right now. So this is going to have you lead by example by integrating your soul power in Aries to help you understand very quickly what quality of power and energy you're harnessing and what direction you move in your routine so that you can break through in your career. Okay, I hope that was resonant for you because that's very powerful personally. All right, next we have Claudia. Claudia, you're also a pure queen. So pure queen Claudia, you have your sun in Taurus, so you're actually the natural queen of destiny with the title of pure queen of wisdom. So that means you provide the Midas touch for other people. Seventh house Tauruses are super valuable. And I'm so glad this resonates. Seventh house Tauruses are super valuable because you make other people aware of what they're worth. And now with the North Node that's returned for you, you are now establishing a new mission that has unlocked your royalty so that you can now establish manifestation of partnerships that actively add value to you. Linus, go ahead. That's totally fine. So with that being said, you've already had your Mars return, but once again, Aries is going to put you in a position to form a lifestyle relative to how much more you can level up your routine. But the leveling up of your routine, 12th house to your Taurus sun, is going to transcend your belief in yourself. Since you're going to see what more you can do in your day-to-day routine, it's going to evolve your belief in who you are and how much more valuable you are. And Uranus and Venus, that's beautifying your appearance and relationships, is polishing the grace and finesse with which you express yourself towards others, especially with that 10 degrees of grace. What's also beautiful is the innovative quality with which you're manifesting these partnerships using supernatural abilities, which is going to challenge a lot of what people think is possible. And if they're dumb, they're dumb. It is what it is. But the creativity that you crystallize with Saturn here is awakening unconventional comfort zones with Pluto now in your fourth. And this is going to really add greater challenge to how you truly take advantage of this. Because once Jupiter goes into your seventh, you're going to actively evolve every single one of your partnerships. And it's going to add more richness to how much you doper there are, all because of you. All because of you. All right. Nani? Oh, Cindy. All the emails you sent before finally sent. That's so wild. But it is what it is. Okay, so next we have Dominique. Dominique, seeing that you are Cancer rising. Okay. Respect for using whole signs. And you have the King of the Gods, Jupiter, and Chiron on your rising. 1990, gang. Goat Squad. Goat Squad. Goat Squad. If you're born 89, 90, or 91, but really if you're born 89, 88, or 90, and you have Saturn Aquarius, your superpowers are blossoming. Your superpowers are blossoming. Saturn in Capricorn, your power returned. Saturn Aquarius, you manifested the knowledge of this power. So if you're born 91 and 93, your abilities are manifesting. Congratulations. But if you're Saturn Cap, the knowledge of abilities that you manifested and downloaded are now blossoming, third house to Saturn. So it's a lot to look forward to. Even though it's 1990, our Saturn is later. So we're going to see this blossom completely later. It's already starting now. So as a Cancer rising, you're evolving your career. But as a Pisces sun, this is super gangster. You're born on the new moon in Pisces, so you're super fucking magic. Damn, you magic as fuck. You, after 2022, evolved your legacy, which you're a teacher of. You teach magic. You help people see into the unseen, which clearly, one look at your profile, you are clearly with the shits. We can clearly see that. So now you are manifesting the evidence of this evolution. You're actively taking actions that push you forward into your career, moving into a new direction. What's very important with Cancer risings is you may be the first to ever do what you've done. So you have the burden and consequence of having to pioneer this and innovate new communities that surround you. And as a Pisces sun, you're manifesting more money. So this evolution of career is going to make you more money. And this evolution of your value and your prices is going to elevate your career. Mars going into your sign that's immediately going to hit Jupiter is going to expand how much more confidence and sincerity you feel about yourself, because now you're seeing you've accomplished so much more. So Dominique, you have a lot to look forward to. This is going to be really badass. And I think you're going to enjoy this thoroughly, as you should, as the divine goddess that you are, rich in melanin, amongst other things. This is definitely going to bring an increasing quality with Saturn in your ninth that's going to crystallize every single one of your beliefs and enable you to come into authority teaching what you teach, like a dean of a college. So next we have Tiffany, another Cancer rising. A lot of Cancer risings today. That's amazing. Shout out to y'all showing out. Ooh. Not you having Neptune, Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter in Sagittarius, opposite Saturn in Gemini. So you just can't be wrong, huh? You just decided I'm never going to be wrong. I'm going to be a Scorpio sun. I'm going to expose everyone's secrets. You just can't be wrong, can't you? Not you having this amazing opposition, the audacity. So you can just see people's secrets and just catch anyone in a lie. That's dangerous. You Cancer risings are dangerous. So not only can you see the unseen, but thank you, Heather. But this is putting you in a position to evolve your career. But as a Scorpio sun, your awareness of this career evolution is happening through the evolution of your routine. It's just, I ain't never seen Sagittarius energy as slick with this. The Sagittarius energy evolves your intuitive capability to process the heartfelt nature of your visions. But Saturn in Gemini is what aligns those visions to truth. So you're not just seeing whatever you want to see. Everything you're seeing is true. And that opposition holds your visions accountable to the integrity of truth so that you actually communicate it. But what's interesting here is this is once again putting you in a position with the moon in Leo to feel into this expansion and growth. And once again, Mars is going into your rising. And it immediately trining your Mars and Pisces will add a lot of direction to the imaginative, metaphysical nature of your desire, which manifests your imagination, but will also harness more emotional direction to direct your imagination. Saturn, of which is on your Mars, crystallizing and completing the total power of your Mars and Pisces so that you can literally produce superpowers from them. And we also want to take into account this 11th house explosion that's going to occur. But because you're born in 71, similar to us born in 1990, you do have Pluto that's coming close to your North Node. And Pluto, as it gets closer to your nodes, will awaken the extreme nature of your destiny. Okay. Linus Saucewalker. Okay. So that's something to really keep in mind, because this Aries season is going to have you make individual actions that integrate success in your career so that you can live the life of the successful career recipient or someone who has a successful career. Finally, we have Julian Sama. Tiffany, I'm sorry. My apologies. Uh-oh. So I'm having trouble uploading the astro.com link. It's giving me like a site can't be reached error message. Nope, never mind. Oh, yeah. Let me try it again. Could you email me a screenshot of the chart, because the link is taking me to my profile. So if you can email me a screenshot of the picture or just your sun, moon, or rising, then I'd be able to see it. But it's not showing me your chart due to the link. One. Once again, Julian, if you please don't mind sending me your chart again. Oh, you know what? Maybe you might not have to. Let me log out and see if that works. Never mind. Doesn't work. Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, other than that, ladies and gentlemen, that is our monthly peace report. Thank you for tuning in. Obviously, for those of you who would like a reading, please feel free to order one. I highly recommend the Astrological Transit Forecast Report. The Transit Forecast Report, we can look over the next 6 months to a year ahead, depending on what you get. All my readings are half off for Aries season. So please feel free to do so. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy this Aries season. Once again, now that the moon is in Gemini, this is putting you in a position to realistically activate the power. Activating true power. All right. Be on the lookout for a magical moon message. Julian, I'm going to assume you haven't heard this, so I'm just going to refund you your 40. But feel free to get a transit forecast or a reading at half off if you want a more in-depth look. That's not a problem. And y'all stay blessed. Oh, there we go. Got the chart. So, Julian, we know you're a Sag rising. Ooh, ooh. Not you being a true gangster. God damn, you getting an alien construct article too. Jesus. Not you having Pluto on the rising and then Sun, Moon, Saturn, and Gemini. Jesus Christ, man. So you're literally like, your word is bond. So people with you like that, like everything that you say becomes reality. So you have to be very careful about that. But you're so true to the game. You're here to truth blast people. You're here to awaken the truth of who and what people are. That's why you take your relationships truly serious with other people. You are the embodiment. You're a soul reaper too. You're one of us. You are the embodiment of true karma expressed towards other people. So as a Sag rising, this Aries transit is going to awaken your heart. It's going to evolve your heart with Venus and Aries, and it's going to put you in a position to activate a new cycle of creativity in your inner child. But as a Gemini sun, this creative urge to really step more into your talents is what's going to gravitate authentic individual friends that you can share those talents with. So as you find where you belong, it's going to stimulate your creativity moving forward. And now as a Sag rising, Pluto is so close to your Neptune, it's awakening the unconventional, intuitive aspect of your intuition. And it's going to really, and this is the coolest thing because, and I'm so jealous, like I'm very admiring really of Geminis in the new generation who have Neptune and Uranus trine your sun and moon. It's not like me where it's in Capricorn, where I have to shut my mind up and tap into my body. You're able to think as crazy as you want, and the Aquarius is right there with you. Oh, that's so amazing. I almost wish I had that. Like, it's so dope. So this Pluto is going to extremely awaken with that trine, the quality with which you can use these abilities, these cosmic abilities, while you begin to create autonomy in your home space with Saturn. Okay, so I hope that resonates. I hope that article speaks to you if I didn't already send that to you already. But once again, as a seventh house Gemini, you bring understanding and awareness of the truth of who other people are, what other people are, what is happening. And this is going to prepare you to integrate all of this and innovate your lifestyle while Jupiter levels up your routine post-May coming into Taurus season. So there you go. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Y'all stay blessed as always. And until next time,